And I've said to 3 other people that aren't even looking, just even.
Thank you.
As I was like, oh.
Thank
It's
you.
just-
3 different ones. Wait, are they all the same thing or not?
He was trying to not share his germs, so he's not having me use his pen.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Did you get one of these yet?
Thank you.
Okay, so
Which one do you guys?
I have the value driver CMA. Front and back.
I have 2 of these. Why do I have 2?
I think they just hand out per table, maybe, and now there's more coming.
Perfect.
Yeah, so everyone is getting, just a brief step-by-step, so that way if you
Thank you.
don't take notes or you forget to write down the steps,
Thank you.
I brain dumped everything into ChatGPT and it created a little mini guide for you. Then you should also have a.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna take one from my driver.
That's just 1 page.
And then, yeah. And then
Yep.
public
Sure
record. And the public record will be the subject. I can shut this down. And turn it on. Great.
Thank you.
Sorry. Well,
Gotcha. I just put that. Oh, you did. Oh, that was one? I know. But yeah, take that. I've got these here. Right. Yeah, but I took this one.
Thank you. All right, now you're gonna
Did you
need,
get an extra one for Sylvie?
you're gonna need this little blue house. I'll make a copy.
I thought it wasn't. But then if they're shutting it down, maybe it's. All right, so while we wait for my screen to pop up, first I just want to say thank you for being here. This is like the toughest part of summer. Because everybody's starting to gear up for the school season. You're starting to get more appointments in your calendar because people are like, okay, kids go back to school in a couple weeks. I might be able to breathe. And I know as agents, you all have been really, so I really appreciate you taking the time to be here today. This class idea came up after our appraisal class. And what I found was I noticed that a lot of agents were really struggling with doing a CMA, the old fashioned style, like an appraiser where you're making like all these adjustments. Okay, we're gonna reduce $500 here because you don't have, you know, whatever the adjustment might be, where you're comparing a full bath to a half bath and you're reducing it by $2,500. And some of the folks in the room are like, well, how do you know what the adjustment really should be, especially as prices have changed so much in the last couple of years. So when I was first got into the business, that's the method I was taught. My broker was also a licensed appraiser. So it was win-win for me because I did get to learn how to make those adjustments the way an appraiser would. But for a lot of agents, we don't get that training. We are not licensed appraisers. So when I joined the Dave Hook team, they actually taught me this value driver method, which is a great method for your visual listers. So a lot of us are gonna have sellers that they're not super analytical and they're not real estate agents and they're not in the real estate industry. So if you were to sit there with a spreadsheet and you would start teaching them or showing them price adjustments, you might as well be speaking a totally different language to them. So this gives them a little bit more of a visual approach. I also believe it helps them own the price a little bit more because they're going to be a part of the conversation. You're going to go into it knowing where you want to land. So you want to be able to give direction, but they're going to be a part of that conversation and kind of own their price. What this class isn't, it is not a Bright class. So I am pulling things from Bright, but I'm not going to technically be showing you like go into here and type the address here and then print here. If you need that, if you go into Think a Thick, there is a whole training on Bright. So if you get lost in those details, if there's time at the end of the class, I could always go back and show you like, hey, this is where I found that report. But for today's purpose, it's to walk you through how I actually would do the value driver CMA. So you should have 3 handouts. The one handout is a 3-up report. With printed front and back. If I was doing this for a listing presentation, I would not do it front and back, by the way. We just have new printers and I had to change the setting. So that's where that came from. We are actually going to use the sale of my previous home as the subject. Okay, take one each. So then you should also have a public record printed. So the scenario is you went on a listing appointment, you met Mr. and Mrs. Seller. For this case, it was Mr. and Mrs. Ben Giles. And they want to sell their property at 60 Hoover Road. So you've already done step 1. I will show you photos of the property. So that way, and we can come back to these as needed. So you know what the property looks like, you know what it feels like. I'll kind of refer back to some details. You know that the home has a brand new HVAC system. It was recently remodeled. The only thing not fully updated was the kitchen. The cabinets are original, but they have been recently painted. But everything else, all the bathrooms, completely remodeled. Flooring is only 3 years old. So you've got a pretty updated home with neutral paint colors, except for the daughter's bedrooms, which were hot pink and one was bright blue, which you can't kind of tell in them. So you already have all that information. Now you're back at your desk and you're gonna do the CMA. So the first thing that I personally would do is pull the public records. That way you've got as much information on the property as possible, and then whatever notes you took from the listing presentation. The next thing I would do is I would find comps. And that's where the 3-up report comes in. Here. What I do is when I go into Bright, I just look, I try to stay within the last 3 years, even sooner if possible because of our market. But I think for this one, I did have to go back a little bit because my home, 60 Hoover Road, accepted property is a bi-level. So you really want to do your best to compare bi-levels to other bi-levels because it is not the same as say a ranch or a 2-story. I try to stay within a 3-mile radius. Sometimes you have to go further. And I would tell you when you're beginning, you just gotta play with it. Run it both ways and see what comps you're getting.
Right, I think you actually meant I said 3 years, you meant 3 months.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I just want to make sure.
In my
I know
mind.
What you meant was months.
And I'm also getting crossed miles, so 3 to 5 miles out, depending on the property.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
3 to 5 months back for a time frame. Thank you for catching that, because that definitely would have thrown some of you off, so thank you. For this property, it is more rural, which is why you might have to go a little further out. If you are in like downtown Carlisle, that needs to severely shrink. I'm talking blocks, right? So as you do this, just play with it. You don't, I would always tell you, if you have a listing appointment scheduled in your calendar, immediately schedule some time to do your analysis. And in the beginning, give yourself 1 to 2 hours. Because the more that you're playing with the comps, the more you're just going to learn what works best. And then you'll get super fast. I remember Drew Richmond one time when she was teaching me this, she did this 30 minutes before the listing appointment because she could just whip it out. Luckily too, she knew going into it that property would have a ton of comps, but a lot of properties in central PA, especially when they're rural, do not. So just give yourself some time. But what you'll see here is I pulled 4 comps. What I love about the 3F report is it organizes it from the lowest sale price, then on the back to the highest. And that's strategic. Then what I do, whenever you first pull this, there's all this data underneath lot size acreage. Like tax assessment, how much they pay in taxes, a bunch of data that you don't need. So I upload it into Canva. You could also use Adobe, and I just place a white box. This is literally just a white rectangle, and I do that from lot size acres down. So that way this becomes my notes. So it's just a little cheat code that I like to write right on the 3F report. From there, what I'm going to do is I will go into each property in Bright. I'm gonna wait for it. I would go into each property in Bright. I would look at all the photos. I would look at the seller's disclosure, and I would look at the agent remarks. So I'm trying to learn as much as I can about each property, and I'm gonna compare it then to my subject property. So for example, if we were to take the first one here, I'm gonna just draw this out on the board. So we're gonna say we have subject property, 60 Beaver Road. And we're gonna just call it comp 1. The first thing I'm gonna do is look at the comp, and I'm gonna ask myself, what are value drivers for comp 1? Meaning, what is something that a buyer would pay more money because of that property? Like what about that property is attractive to another buyer? So with this one, I'm looking at it, I should probably just pull up some pictures. I'll let you decide, but at first glance, location's probably pretty good. Here. So the first one is this 496. So just go ahead and shout out as you're looking at the photos, what might be value drivers for this property or reasons why buyers would be attracted to this property. Nice landscaping. I love that. The landscaping. The garage. Yeah.
Wait, is yours a 3-bedroom or a 4-bedroom?
It's 3-bedroom with a bonus room in the basement.
But the other one's a true 4.
Let's look. Let's double check that. Because we all know with buy levels,
Yeah.
agents,
They lie.
they lie. So this looks like the living room.
We had a.
We do, but maybe not everybody.
We'll come back through. It's hard to tell, but just, the ceilings are drop ceiling.
Yeah.
You can tell that it's PVC paneling, not drywall. Bathrooms are a little bit more dated.
Yeah, it looks like it's all.
Kitchen was dated. It looks like there's a bonus
Yeah,
room.
there's a bonus room, so it's same.
So it's the same. And now, again, we'll just kind of come up to the subject property. So yeah, I would agree, like, the landscaping wasn't as on point. Disclosure, that is not in our wheelhouse. And just for the record, when I would go to some of these photos, we did not need to make it, but just having one. I will actually have my laptop or iPad, so I can let them see the photos of the inside of each property, because I want them to see it too. And then they can compare it to their own house, but because you weren't there. See how bright blue my children. Right.
Yeah, but in bedrooms, that doesn't matter, 'cause they're gonna be paying anyway.
Most of the time.
It's
Yeah.
the rest of the house that matters.
Yes. So any other value drivers that you can think of, it was landscaping, garage, I said location.
Location, it's a better location.
Are we still on 496?
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely the square footage. It's big.
Good catch. Anything else?
The pool, I mean, but that's, either way, I found. So I would almost say, I'm gonna stop myself, I would almost say a pool is a neutral thing, it's not necessarily value added. Because some people will want a pool and some people will absolutely not want a pool.
Yeah, 100%.
I've seen appraisers giving $20,000 to $30,000 in certain neighborhoods for a pool,
Yeah.
which they never gave before.
No.
I
Because
would
they cost too much to
say
build.
for this, where the subject property was, many neighbors had pools. So it might be more of a benefit if you're like trying to keep up with the Joneses kind of a thing. But no, that's a great point. I mean, another reason why we moved, and I'm willing to share, I'm gonna share some of the reasons why Ben and I moved. Because we are part of your avatar right now. We were the people that moved, not because we had another baby, not because we got married or divorced, but it was a literal lifestyle choice. And I think that can be very helpful for you when you're having conversations with the people. What do you think might be some value reducers for comp one? I heard, what's that? Yeah. I think we said like dated kitchen.
And painted family. Preston, drywall, drop ceilings, lots of places in the stairs.
Yeah. Even in the new living area. Anything else? Maybe the voice paneling in the basement. So at this point, we could probably even, if you really wanted to, and we had more time, but this was a true CMA time block in my calendar, I would be, again, reading the seller disclosures, or flooding, that they have water in the basement. I would be reviewing all those things and adding to here if I could, or even here, maybe they just installed brand new windows, so we can't tell from the photos. But at this point, are there more value drivers? Or are there more value reducers? So what I'm gonna then do is I'm gonna say our subject property is most likely worth more. So I'm gonna put a plus sign. I am going to just write the price here so I can see if I know the state.
I didn't see the pricing on this at all.
I know, I'm thinking I hit the wrong setting, so that's my fault. Let me go on the card.
Because normally you do see it.
Yeah, I think I must have cut that off by accident. So don't do that when you print it. Learn from me. You do want the price on there, but you don't need like, the taxes. So it's sold for $375. It was like getting on a bike this morning. It took me a minute. I haven't done this in a while. Full disclosure, when I sold my home, because I knew that I would have an emotional attachment, Adam Osborne wanted to practice a listing presentation on me, because he just revamped it, so he was like, hey, could I do this? And I was like, yeah, how would you do it for my house? I'm thinking about selling, so that's how we did that. All right, so now the next property, 1093 West Trindle Road. Did not. So normally, I must have not hit the right setting. You can have it to where it goes from lowest sale price to highest sale price. That was my bad. But 270 was the next one. And we might just pretend it's sold for more so I can show you what I was trying to do. Or I'll rewrite it over here. 270 West Trindle Road. We've got the photos. That one's closer in age to the subject property. I don't know if you can see this, but it's got like painted wallpaper or some type of paneling. Kitchen's dated. Little 80s border. Whew. And that one looks like it had a bonus room in the basement as well. So what are some value drivers for this property?
Authority C.
There you go. Flooring looked a little, maybe it was renovated. Anything else? What about value reducers?
Lots of wallpaper.
Square footage.
Lots of wallpaper.
Drop ceilings in the main. A kitchen.
Textured ceiling. Dated kitchen, dated baths. I would even say the landscaping was a little, yeah. I don't like to judge, because like I said, that is not my strong suit, but. So again, if this, theoretically, this should have been over here, but based on value drivers and value reducers, would you say that the subject property is worth more or less?
More.
More. We will go ahead and skip to the fourth one that's on the back for the sake of. So 148 Fairview Drive.
What did it go for?
435. 432 set. Now this one was brand new, which is kind of hard to do. Normally you wouldn't want to use a brand new comp when you're looking at resale. But for the sake of this exercise, I wanted to pull it, especially because of location and the fact that it's a bi-level. And what I would explain to my sellers in this is, I don't love to compare new sale to resale. And yet, when a buyer is shopping and they're looking for these specifics, if they're looking at your home, they're probably also gonna look at this one. And they're gonna be comparing it in their minds. So what would you say some value drivers are? New. Yeah, like it's all new, like new everything,
Therefore updated.
right? It's all
On trends, yeah.
on trend. There's, you know,
Newer systems that heat pump and older.
yes,
I've no age on them.
Third bathroom.
attached to that. But, you know, because it is new, the subject property, although very renovated, it had you should know going into this, they had original, not original, the roof was put on in 2005. And the windows were unknown. So we don't know when the windows were put in. I don't believe they were original windows, but the previous seller bought the home in 2005 and they did not put the windows in. So they were old windows. Okay, so it's good to know that as you're doing this. What about value reducers?
Location.
Yeah, I would say location. It's in the same township, but
Lot size,
yeah,
teeny lot.
Sure.
yeah. Right.
And it's about it.
They're all by.
Well, they're all by
Yeah.
levels,
But it's still, yeah.
Yeah, this is back, it's by level.
100%.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Does it have an HOA?
no HOA on either.
Okay.
I would say, oh, this one has a garage, so subject property does not have a garage.
That's good.
That's a huge one. Subject property did not have a garage.
So I don't know how you quantify this, but the feel of a property like this when it's right next to people versus yours, I mean, you feel like you're out in the country, even if it's similar. It's a totally different feel.
Yeah, maybe like 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're gonna pay for that other vibe.
Yes, yeah, people who bought the subject property didn't want the feel that they were right next to each
Right.
other. And the buyers ended up being military. And so they were used to military housing, which is like, you're packed like sardines. And they wanted room to breathe, like that's what they wanted, and freedom to be able to do what they wanted to their property. When you live on base housing, you're a tenant, you don't really get to have a lot of say in what you do. So based on this, all the value drivers, would you say this property was on paper worth more or less than the subject property?
Subject was worth more, so yours was worth less.
Yes, yes. So then now you have a negative. So now because I messed that up, I'm gonna come over here really quick. So had I printed this out right, we would have had comp 1 as the one that sold at 270. And we would have had comp 2 as the one that sold at 375. And then we would have had comp 3.
432.
432.7. And we would have known that the subject is definitely worth more than property 1. Definitely worth more than property 2, but definitely not worth more than number 3. And in fact, we would say it's worth less. And we would definitely say it's worth more than these 2. So now your range, if I was doing this, I would say the range would be probably between, because it's between 375 and 432. But we're pretty comfortable that it was definitely had more value drivers in this one. I would have said 400 to 425 would be my range. And that's how I would explain it to the sellers. And I would ask them, so do you think your property is probably worth more than this? And they'd say, yes. Keep drawing the arrow. And would you say it's probably worth more than this? Yes. Can we agree that just based on the value drivers and value reducers, that your property is most likely to a buyer on the market when they're looking at multiple homes? They're probably gonna pay less for your home than this home, and they're gonna say, yes, to that house it's brand new. So, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I would price your home somewhere between 400 and 425. And then that's when I would go into my strategy of, it's always better to go a little bit more on the low end and drive competition. And I would tell them the risk of pricing too high, but at the end of the day, it is up to them. We priced at 400. I had a unique situation. So my situation was I wanted to be able to live in my home until my new construction was done. So that was gonna take a unique buyer. Because that was 6 months. That's a long time. A lot of times you might have a buyer who's willing to do like a month, maybe a couple weeks. I was asking for a lot and I knew that, but I needed, and this, I'm sharing this because you're gonna have sellers that are just like me. I needed the peace of mind that I wasn't gonna have to move my kids and my 2 dogs twice. Cause I would have had to man that ship. I'm that person in the family. And I was like, there's no way I have the time or energy. So if we're gonna make this happen, I have to do it this way. So I priced here. We ended up getting closer to here, but I did give some seller help. And again, it was military family. I'm probably not allowed to say that, but I enjoyed the fact that it was a military family buying our home. I grew up a patriot. I have a lot of military in my family, so I felt like it was a good plan. But that's how I did it. I can tell you that this strategy helped me win over some other big teams when I was competing. And I think it's because the sellers felt like they understood why their property fell into the price range. And then they got to kind of own, they still had some choice here. Now, when Adam did this, in my head, again, emotional, I was the seller. I wanted $450. And Adam says, Brittany, you can't always get what you want. The data doesn't lie. And he was right. The data didn't lie. And I knew, like Mike said, I had a buy level. My property was gorgeous. And I would always tell people, if I could just bulldoze my house down and start over, I would have done that. And then hired a landscaper because that's not my strong suit. But yeah, I would just say, I think it helps the non-analytical, which most of your sellers aren't. Some of you are going to have sellers and they will love the spreadsheet with all the price adjustments. They're going to like that. But a lot of your sellers will appreciate this a lot more because they're going to see the pictures with you. They're going to be able to look at the details of the property with you, and they can't, most of the time, they cannot be blind to the truth. I've had one time where a seller was still adamant that his property was better than like the practically brand new one. You're gonna run into that, and that's where script and role play becomes very helpful. Any questions? I know I went through a lot in a short period of time, but.
The one thing I would say is even if they are analytical, I'd still start with this. Because if not, they're gonna fight you over how much that extra bedroom or half bath is worth. Because it's subjective number. So they're still gonna fight you over it. So I would start with this. And if they need to get into the analytical, then that supports that.
Yeah, have that as a backup if you need it.
And you know that's the person they are.
Yes, which you should gather that from your, like when you're pre-qualifying your sellers and getting that information on the phone or before you go to the appointment, you're gonna start to understand if they're like that. And then of course, in the appointment with them, ask a lot of questions and you'll start to see what's really important to them. And part of that with the value drivers, if as you're touring the home and the seller keeps talking about the brand new furnace that they installed, I will absolutely make sure that for every property, I'm talking about their heating and air conditioning. Is it a value driver? Was it really new? Or was it really old? Because that's a topic that your seller cares about. So kind of listen to what are the things they keep talking about their home, and then make sure you're putting them either as a value driver or a reducer when you're looking at the other comps, because they just want to feel heard. Otherwise, you're going to go through this whole thing and they're going to be like, yeah, but what's the age of the furnace on all those other properties? So just make sure you're also speaking to what they point out about their home. This is another tip.
Brittany, is there a new or updated plus and minus sheet? So in other words, I was trained 9 years ago, and our plus and minus sheet, the one I'm using currently, is the same one I was given 9 years ago. Is there a new and updated one where you give X amount for the swimming pool or X amount for the one versus a 2-car garage? Do we have any new data on that? So we're still using those old numbers.
I think, or Shannon, go ahead.
And it's subjective, because you can talk to 3 different appraisers and they're gonna give you a different number. Because I've had to do that before, calling people saying, hey, you know, how much should I give for this? And one guy says 5 grand, and the other guy says 10 grand, and the other guy says, well, I wouldn't give him a dime, because some people hate a swimming pool. So I mean,
Mhm.
I think that's why this is a good model, because it protects you a little bit more. You don't get in the weeds as much, and it's more,
Mhm.
You're not giving value to every single line
Yeah.
item on the house. And again, and I would start this knowing you're going into a listing appointment and most likely you are competing. I would always go into the mindset that I'm competing. And I know that a lot of the other agents coming to the table that I'm competing against are using that appraiser method is what I call it.
Mhm.
I would straight up say, you're gonna meet with a lot of agents and this is the method that they're gonna go over. And they're gonna make all these price adjustments, but they're not licensed appraisers. We need to leave that job to the licensed professional who had to do years of mentorship and apprenticeship to get that license. So that's why I use this method, and I found it to be most accurate, because we're not trying to be creative with numbers that we honestly, like Shannon said, depending on what appraiser you get and what mood they're in that day, could affect what price adjustment you get. And so I would like start with that, so that way I'm speaking to anybody that I've already competed against, and then you stand out because your method is different. And it is, and I explain this to my sellers, it's a bit of a science and an art. Because every single property is different, and something that you think buyers may love about a home, maybe for some reason it turns out that they don't. So you're just using the data to come up with a pretty good range. And then based on that information, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, where do you feel comfortable starting your listing at? And if they say, well, what would you do if it were you? I would lean towards the low end because the market dictates the price. If you're competitive, more buyers will come in and they typically drive the price up to where it's supposed to be. Whereas if you price too high and it sits on the market, then people start to wonder what's wrong with it. And you sometimes end up having to sell for less than where you could have started.
we call it strategic market price. We like to start your home at this strategic market price, and here's why, and then we talk about generating traffic. Same thing we say when we're talking about commissions.
Right.
This is a strategy to draw more people in, because it shows that the more people get in, the higher your home ultimately sells for. So it's not your list price, it's your strategic market.
I love that, strategic marketing price. You're right, because
That is what it
it
is.
is a marketing tool.
It is a tool.
And Luann, your email to Adrian and I
Mhm.
think that one property was highly unique. And sometimes it's okay to just say, we're gonna get an appraiser and we're gonna get an actual appraiser.
Mhm.
When they're that unique, it's not you, it's just there's not enough comps or data. Tracy had to step out, but I know Tracy has had to do that a couple times where she just says, you know what? The best thing I can do for my seller is to pay for an appraiser to come in, because otherwise we're just throwing darts at a board and there's no strategy then behind it.
Well, the interesting part of that was that I was pricing it higher than what they eventually put on the market for. So
Okay.
I was surprised by that. So they left, they were working with us and considering signing with us. And then they got in the for sale by owner realtor,
Okay,
and they priced it at 50,000 less than what I came up with. And I thought I was pretty conservative on that property.
what did they end up selling it for?
We don't know yet.
You don't know yet.
But they did get 6 offers, which I understand that strategy as well. If the lower you price it, the more people you're gonna get to compete with each other. So they could have ended up getting beyond what I even priced it at or suggested.
I think going too low could hurt them.
Yeah, it didn't make sense,
But
quite
you
honestly.
said that the listing agent did it for 1%.
Mhm.
So part of the listing agent strategy might be pay me less commission, lower your price even more and hope to drive up traffic
Mhm.
maybe.
Yeah,
Thoughts on that?
well, time will tell, we'll find out.
Yeah, or maybe there's something you didn't know.
I don't know, we knew these clients very well, they were my daughter's neighbor.
Or
Mhm.
they agreed to do it at 1%, but if they beat the price by X, they got more money.
Could be,
Yes.
could be.
I did that once because they weren't willing to pay. And I said, look, if you follow my strategy to a T and we listed here, if I beat the price by at least $10,000, I get that other 0.5%. And they said, okay.
Everybody wins.
Yeah, because I proved my word to them in that way.
Mhm.
So maybe it was something like that.
Yep,
And
not
just
sure.
remember, I mean, it's always good to get guerrilla work there on what you're competing against. So just know that, you know, that most agents are going in with, the price adjustment style CMA, or a good bit of them are.
Mhm.
Some are also just doing the cloud CMA where, I don't know how I've never looked at that, how accurate those are, but in Bright, there's literally a button and it'll just generate a CMA for you. Also know that some of your competitors are going in saying that they only charge 3%. And then when they get to the listing contract is when they say, well, I charge 3%. But then if a buyer's agent comes, they might want a commission. But that's how they get their foot in the door. So you just have to make sure you're speaking to what your competition is saying. So that way they don't hear you say 20 donuts is your commission, but then agent B comes in and says, well, I only charge 10 donuts. Make sure you explain that he says he's charging 10 donuts, so you get the offer that's asking for the additional 10 donuts to be paid to the buyer's agent. And then you'll end up seeing it on your net seller sheet then, whereas I'm gonna show it to you now, because I know in this market, you're most likely gonna have to pay for it.
Or I'm using it as a tool to draw more people in, so I'm encouraging you to pay.
Exactly. So you have to know what your competition is likely saying at the listing table, just so you can speak to it. And kind of crush any of those doubts or what they think they're gonna get versus what they're really gonna get by the time we get to the listing table. Chris?
So, because we deal with a lot of transactions, your competition is legitimately saying this, so there's been, I won't say any agent's names, but there is an agent out there that says, I will list your home for 1%. Not mentioning that he's going to charge 4% because he's going to ask for like 3 or 2.5% for the buyer's agent once they go to the listing agreement. But he deals with a lot of low socioeconomic status people, so like we're talking about very low education, so kind of takes advantage of those people. So if you don't think that's happening, that is happening. One of the scripts that I saw recently work is that, you know, people asking you to lower your commission, you know, you rephrase it in a way is like, listen, I understand that that person's willing to take, you know, 2 or 1% as their commission, but why would you want someone who's already lost their first negotiation and they haven't even listed your house yet? That's not someone that I want representing my home. So, but you can do it in a more tactful way, but I've seen it work already.
I love that. Yeah. Know what your competition is doing and saying, and then you can speak to it, and you're the educator. You're just there to educate the seller, and you might hear this. You might see this. This is how I do it differently, or this is what's really gonna happen by the time X, Y, Z goes through.
Okay.
That's why coffee and conversations on Tuesdays is helpful. You can bring those scenarios. We will be revamping that with the help of Mike Braddock, after Mega Camp. We're gonna start tying in, tactics from Never Split the Difference. So we've kind of worn out exactly what to say phrases. We're still gonna use those, but now we're adding in a lot of those tactics. So we're gonna do one tactic a week. So that way you can build upon those skills. But if you don't use it, and then you're practicing on your potential clients. So come practice with us. For those that are new in the room, I would try to do just like we have appointment goals every week, setting, I wanna set 2 appointments this week and I wanna contact 50 people this week. Have a goal for how many CMAs are you gonna practice this week? Pick your property, your parents' property. Just go into the MLS and pick a new listing and pretend to do a CMA on it. The more you practice it, the more comfortable you're going to get explaining this method. And honestly, just the more you see the homes and the prices, the more comfortable, I mean, Shannon can probably walk in and Mike can probably walk into a property and have a pretty good gut feeling on a number. And then the data will let them know how close they were, but the more you do it, it's all about repetition. If you wait until your first listing appointment to do a CMA, your anxiety is going to be through the roof. So if I were a new agent, that would be part of my homework is I'm a professional and I want to do a professional job for my clients. I'm going to be their fiduciary. So I'm going to do a CMA or 2 a week until I start to feel a lot more comfortable with the process. And as you do that, you might come up with questions. That's what your mentor's for. Hey, I was practicing this CMA on 123 Main Street and this popped up. What is this? It's a great time to get those questions out, not when you're like in the heat of the moment of, oh crap, my CMA is due at 5 and it's 2 o'clock. Oh. Any other questions?
Do you always have to do CMAs? Like for Mike and Shannon, you did a good number of,
I always
these
do.
houses, you always do it?
100%, because I wanna have something I can show them.
Okay.
There are a lot of agents that will come in and give them a number.
Mhm.
And the other thing I would always do is I would always ask, what do you think your home is worth? And when people like, oh, I don't wanna tell you, look, I get it. I will tell you, I'm gonna show you the data to show you where my range is. I'm just curious, but it helps you know expectations wise. But I always do one, and if somebody came in and told them 450 and I thought it was a 425, Lorraine, I've seen you do this too. You're like, where'd they get that number? Did they show that to you? No, they didn't show it to me. Okay, well, let me show you the data, and here's where I got mine, and maybe you can help me poke holes in it. Maybe there's something I missed. And they will actively try to do that, but then when they see that yours is data driven, they get okay with the number. Yeah, so I always do, don't you always do?
Yeah, because in your head, you know what you know, right? You have to be able to convey that so that the neighbor, like they know how you do that with pictures and data.
Okay.
So it's just a way of communicating.
And you can always, if things go wrong, they overprice and you add the conversations and the data.
Yes.
Say, remember when we had this conversation and I was showing you the comp? If you can tie it back to the data, which helps take some of the emotion out of it, and it helps remind them that it wasn't you that gave them that info. Or even if you did give them, it was your price, and you're like, I don't know why, we're gonna go back and I'm gonna reevaluate this with my team because all the comps pointed to this house should sell at this.
And if you want to just kind of finish off with this one line or something to that effect, in this market, not the market 5 years ago, but in this market, it's almost impossible to underprice a home.
Okay,
Let the market run it up.
Yeah, but you can absolutely overprice it.
Yes, you can.
okay,
And here's what happens when you do this, so you give them, which side do you wanna be on?
okay.
That because you give them the choice.
You give them a choice, right?
Okay, thank you.
And on that, little one pager, there's some pro tips at the end, but one of them is, somebody like Shannon and Mike, they've got history, so they know, this one says, oh, let me tell you now. That was on Banana Street for overpriced. They've got a story that can kind of back up what they're trying to portray. You're newer to the industry, just use the data in bright. You can pull properties that were listed at 400,000, but then sold for 370. And then you can show them, look at how many days they were on market. So you can find other people's history to prove your point. Also, every time you go to Mega Camper Family Reunion, Gary Keller does a state of the company. which also talks about the state of our economy. And in those slides that ultimately get published in Connect, when you go in Command, there's a Connect tab. Within a week or two, those slides are available for everyone, regardless of if you want to make a camper campaign. We'll normally share some important slides at team meeting for you. There's usually a slide in there about overpricing. Like every single time, there's always been a couple of slides that you could literally print or put in, you can use Canva to put in your listing presentation, so that way you've got data for those more analytical people to say, this is the consequences. So you can find data even if you don't have the sales history to prove it. Lean on somebody else's story to help them overpricing conversation.
Brittany, am I remembering correctly, since you mentioned Canva, a month ago at the team meeting, you said that was going to be part of our subscription and be available, is that happening yet?
I don't know, I feel like it's probably gonna happen next week at my, they always tie it, so Adrienne, I promise you, because she's probably the most excited about the Canva command integration. So as soon as it goes live, you will definitely know. But my gut says they always like to release things at the convention. Anything else? I think your next presenter is here. I think that's cool. No? Quiet room. Is it too hot? No, okay. Maybe I'll grab hours.
With Adrian.
I saw raise the roof and then it was done.
Yeah.
I'm so happy you guys did my first time. Oh, yeah, because I started just like, I was here Tuesday.
Yeah.
And then Sadie, one of the little ones, yeah, at a freezer, one of the trees that night. And then I took her to the doctor and I was there, she was like, she's falling over. And did you tell her? Yeah, I was worried, 24 hours, I was starting to go. And they were like, oh, it's not around. I'm like, I said, you can test her. Now it is, because we brought it back. Oh.
Yeah.
She's like, I know I didn't see it. She came back, she's like, your instinct was right, your mom like that, and they both ran, 103 before 3.
Were you that sick?
No, I wasn't, and I wasn't sick.
There we go.
But dad wasn't there, like, for 30.
The connection might be a little.
But they weren't on jail.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would have had to ask us.
Oh, that's why you got sick. You might do it all.
For 3 days, every 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And then you came home from the conference, and I was like, yeah, we got it.
Yeah, I'm out. Happy.
Yeah, I just think so. They absolutely love it. They call it, they get it in the shop glass.
Yeah.
And they think, you know, they think absolutely love it.
Well, I was around every person, so I know that. And we have fun.
We got my parents. And for sure, we have some good issue. But no symptoms, just ordinary.
Yeah.
And she was texting, think we aren't wearing. But she was going on a trip to see her sister.
Yeah.
And she was like, I just want to make sure I don't have it. And she was
I did mine. All right, everybody, our guest speakers today, we have Alex and Joe from TEC. So they're gonna cover a variety of topics today, but we're grateful that they took time out of their busy day to be here. Like me, they are not geniuses in tech. So yeah, they're geniuses in all things exterior for your home and your client's home. So if the screen goes out, that's actually not their fault. That's our ancient system that's gonna be replaced when we move in the near future. So
Yeah.
everybody give them a warm welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone. We're excited to be here. My name is Alex. This is Joe. I'm a senior project manager in the company, and Joe is our president for the company. But we're very grateful to be here, and so actually, we're very excited to present what we have to offer to you guys. But we're now partnered with Keller Williams in a preferred vendor program, and we're looking to help you guys sell faster, smarter, and show you guys what we have to offer, and get a little bit more detail. Joe's gonna take over and show, who we are and what we do as our services.
Sorry for the clunky slideshow. But yeah, thanks for your attention. I appreciate everyone's time. We're the exterior company. We're out of Lancaster, that's where we're based. We are a roofing company, an exterior remodeler. We do a ton of roofs, both for insurance proceeds and just retail. We do siding, gutters, and roofing. That's the scope of our work. We are, 14 years or so in business now. 2,000 plus Google reviews, good standing with the Better Business Bureau. I've done a lot of community projects around here. Really, we try to do more than just, and we're grateful to have exploded, and made the 5,000 list a couple times in a row. And I would say the only thing we're doing for print is just the people that we have involved. So we have a really good group of guys. I'm very, very grateful. Alex is one of them. He's the senior project manager for us. So that's a little bit about what we do and who we are. Primary revenue stream is and so guys thinking, there's so many parallels between what Alex does as a project manager and what real estate agents do. Transactionally, customers only buy a handful of homes in their life, in most people, right? A handful of homes. And the same with roofs. Roofs aren't something that customers buy every day. So they're large ticket items and they're very infrequent. So that makes it such a relational transaction. It's so important to build a good relationship. So we found it works very well to partner with people that are in similar transactions, similar sectors. And so that's what brings us here and got us thinking that a referral partnership might make a lot of sense. There might be cases where you run up against homeowners that are in need of roofing or roofing evaluations or siding evaluations to help the sale along. And so that's what we'll talk about today. So we're proposing a partnership that allows us to both benefit. And so we'll talk about that. So roofing and real estate, you guys probably already know this, but new roofing, increased property value and equity, higher agent commission potential, enhanced curb appeal, which might be the biggest thing these days. Reduced buyer objections, transferable warranties, that's big one, manufacturer's back warranties that you can pass along to new homeowners. And then also we do professional drug photos. So a lot of things that just parallel, that could come into place here. So right down to the business of it, I'll let Alex talk about the incentive program that we've worked on.
So we concocted basically something to reward you guys based on giving us a general business, but is to get qualified homeowners. This isn't a finder's fee. This is a partnership. So anybody that you experience that is in need of a roof or in need of our services, we have rewarded each one. Typically we originally had a flat $250 for if we received work for the referral over that, but we kind of wanted to break it up a little bit and make sure you guys get paid for actually giving the initial conversation to them and kind of setting us up with a conversation with the homeowner and to have an inspection done. But we have a flat 50 for if you guys are able to contact them, express them to our services and provide them our info. And then we'll take the range of giving them a call and kind of sitting down with them and seeing, doing an initial inspection and to check to see if there's something storm related damages to their property or if they're just in need of getting the roof done due to it being aged. But if the work is to be performed from the referral, the additional 200 gets tacked on top of the original 50. So each person, if you refer someone over to us, you have a $250 per person if the work gets completed. So we do have an additional bonus on top of that. So if you guys are doing very well, you're referring us over, we're doing like a 5 per month. So if you do an additional, where you have a total of 5, you'll get an additional $250 on top of that. So say it all works out well, you give 5 total to us, then we have a total of $1,500 in that month. So it's just an extra incentive to give you guys for us to provide help for the people, so.
Yeah, trying to parallel, your normal course of business and open up opportunities for you guys. It's a win-win, because for us, we pay, this is a bit higher than our standard cost of lead. Like real estate, we get leads from many different channels, from door knocking to radio to direct mailers and everything in between. And, this is one of the more expensive routes, but we find that when it comes from a relationship, it's a referral from a relationship. You guys know that those are the best, right? They're worth paying for. So we're willing to share in those gains. So like Alex said, qualified lead, if you just have a conversation, say, hey, looks like your roof might be in need of repair. If you're interested, I could set you up with one of our partners, Alex, right? I can have him out, take a look, see what's going on. You forward the information to Alex, that would be the qualified lead with $50. Customer goes to contract, the additional 200, and then you go on the volume program, then we can reward appropriately there. Any questions about that? Yeah, okay, cool. Again, talking about a qualified lead, again, it's just a customer that you're working with that may have a need for roofing services. Just name, information, address, you tee up a little about what we do, you start a conversation, we take it from there. That would be it. So you speak to a homeowner, they express interest, we will take over and communicate from there and schedule an inspection. And then we start payouts. The way this would work too mechanically is we would pay once a month. We would just kind of aggregate all the work, all the leads and the contracts from the month prior and pay it out in 1 month itself. And so that we done that way. Things to look for as a realtor. You guys aren't roofers, but there's some basic things that you can keep an eye on. If the roof's over 20 years old, that might warrant an inspection. That might be a good candidate. If you see leaks on ceilings, drywall, ceilings, the water stains, that's a good indicator that there could be something on the roof. If visually there's granule loss or bald shingles, lifted or curling shingles, or even if the homeowner mentions, hey, we just had some gnarly weather here in the past couple weeks or months, like those would all be conversation starters for you guys that would qualify those leads.
It would have to be within, for insurance-based stuff, has to be within 1 year. So most insurance companies have 1 year statute of limitations, which they have to have a qualifying storm within 1 year to see if they can even have additional coverage for this. So we have a software where we can look it up and get data and see if they actually have been affected within a storm within 1 year. So then we can initiate that inspection, storm-related damages. But most of the damages for roof-related, we can't really see from the ground. That's why we have a train that I go up there and we document everything to see if it's necessary. But we won't recommend any claim be open unless we feel that a claim is necessary. And each insurance company has their own parameters on what they want to deem for coverage, but we have the knowledge based off of that.
And like Alex is saying, there's kind of two paths in roofing, right? There's a retail path where a customer's paying out of pocket, usually involves some customer financing. Then there's an insurance path where they file a claim. It's usually a much longer turn time, that's the downside. But usually in the homeowner space, residential space, the deductibles are pretty small and it can make for a really painless out of pocket experience for the homeowner. But the trade-off is time. And so what I think would be really cool for you guys is if you have someone that's thinking about selling a home, and their roof is in bad shape, they might be a great candidate for the insurance path because they have the time to do it. It might be less out of pocket for them. If you're up against the bricks, someone needs to move a house pretty quick and their roof is in dire straits, the retail path is always going to be the fastest. We can go from inspection to install roof in under a week. Yeah, and so that can be very fast. So of course, there's some out of pocket stuff involved there, but if time is of the essence, that's a valid path. That makes sense? Yeah. Anything you want to touch on next?
Yeah, for instance, my parents lived in Denver, PA, and they're looking to sell their place. So they had an old roof, the exterior was definitely just outdated at that point. Just a little story, my mom and my parents are do-it-yourself kind of people, so my mom took her iPhone and took photos of the inside of the house, wanted to slap it up on, Zillow to see if they got any traction, but, they weren't selling the place. It was getting tough. They were getting lowball offered. They wanted to list for about 500 or so, but they were getting offers for about 460 to maybe 475. But I presented the idea of getting the exterior cleaned up, obviously getting the roof done, gutters, downspouts, and my dad was all for it, so then we ended up doing it. And I take drone photos after the whole thing is done, and we can provide that to you guys to put it towards the listing if you want to, but Definitely adds a curb feel for it. Threw those photos into the listings, and then about 2-3 days later, they got a 5-10 offer that they took on it. So there's about a difference of about $50,000. So that's where we can get into where it's like, okay, you have the increased equity and value for the property. You guys could even, instead of just the incentive, you can be getting more commission just off of pure value of the property. So that was just one example that we can kind of enlighten me on the idea of how this could actually work out and how we can benefit.
Well, there's the retail pricing, okay, so.
Say that again?
Well, I'm sure you gave them the insider prices.
Yeah, insider pricing. Yeah, I did give a little family discount for that one, but it was roughly about 25,000 or so for the roof and the detached garage to get replaced. And then he did gutters and downspouts on both with gutter guards. So, they took the gutter style and they did black roof and black gutters and downspouts, and it really popped on brick house.
I say that's such a strong move. Right now is we deal with a lot of flippers and do a lot of gutters and window wraps. Just put the black gutters and the black window wraps, you guys know that's the look. We do a ton of that right now. Sharp. Just the bolster values. As far as the products go, we do all the roofing styles, primarily asphalt shingle to the fastest, the most cost effective, but metal to cedar shake, even EPDM, which is kind of the rubber flat roof you guys see. We do all types of that sort of thing, as well as side.
Do you use GAF or Cumberland, or what do you use?
We do GAF and Owens Corner. Those are our primary, about 50-50 between the two. They don't love that we have them both, but we try to really balance that relationship. It really paid off in COVID when supply chain started drying up, we had options, so, but yeah, we're top tier certified with both. Other services we can provide, roof inspection reports. These are things that you can call on Alex for outside the box, for anything you might have. You have a question about it, the homeowner has a question, he's a resource for you. You can lean on him. If you need roof inspection reports, we've done that before, to help. Sometimes things can get tricky during home inspections, so we've been a third-party inspector for that. Attic inspections, to check ventilation, mold, or moisture. We handle all permitting for any kind of construction and things like that. And we can give documentation, roof report or a copy of a warranty if it's a roof we perform. We can give any kind of documentation like that as help for the transaction.
You guys run into often needing some form of resource or like, documentation from a roofer saying, hey, this is the way it is for home inspections?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I figured. I've had done that previously in the past where they just gave us photos and then I just gave a detailed list of why it is what it is. And then that was enough for them to figure out what they needed to do, but,
And if it's something that's, we'll work with the town of which so if you're trying to make a transaction happen and it's held up by an issue on the roof, we can figure out what the quickest path to remedy is there, not to maximize the size of our contract. We can work with you on your needs there, the true partner.
that's it. This is a generic, yeah, this was basically the generic information. A lot of this, we can get into like specifics now of what you guys have experienced in the field that we can get an answer for it. So I think of one topic, I think we talked with Keith with solar, while you guys have any information, but I'll go a little bit in depth there. I'm not a huge solar person. I don't know if the benefits of having it on the house, but I know in order, especially with insurance work, if the roof is covered to get replaced through insurance, they will also pay to detach and reset these panels. And that will be with the provider that installed the panel. So they have that through their warranty, but they have solar panels up there. It's traditional. We gotta get them off before we install the new roof on there. But that was just one topic. But was there any others that you guys had in
Yeah,
mind?
do you guys do roof certification, so somebody has a 15-year roof, which still has good life, it was older, everything was, GAF,
Mhm.
year, 30-year winter shingles, but we need for the insurance to get something that says we have 3 years of useful life. Do you do that? What does that
Yes.
cost?
Yeah, we could definitely do that.
We can do that. We do it now, and we don't have a fixed fee schedule, but we can do it. We can communicate about that. And we're seeing more of a need for that with the insurance company,
Yeah, the insurance
non-renewals.
companies are crazy.
Non-renewable insurance.
Non-renewals, yeah, they're demanding it, and that's something that we're seeing more and more, started down south, but it's coming up here. Deductibles as a percentage of damage, and it's nuts. So yes, that is absolutely something we can do. As far as fees, we'll get back to you on that, but yes, that is 100% something we can do. And, like you said, it's a usable life estimate, basically.
Yeah.
That's what we provide, and it's based on our name and our word.
And that just goes with like an overall condition report. You
Right.
take photos of everything, if there's granule loss, if the shingles are fully sealed, or if there's any flashing issues on there, thermal cracking, all that stuff we could take, you know, accountability, just to build an overall report to see kind of the longevity of the roof.
Right.
And depending on the nature of, you know, where that report goes, like we're trying to nudge it in the direction of replacement. We can highlight some facts on the roof. Like if the shingle's discontinued, you might say, you know, it's got some life left on it, but it's a discontinued shingle. So if there were to be catastrophic weather event, probably would warrant for replacement because we wouldn't be able to do a start repair. So we can get granular depending on the target market for that report.
Didn't sell it, but.
Correct. Exactly. Not that we play both sides, but.
I think we,
I do.
Sorry, go ahead.
You're talking about solar, so when you're seeing the request to do a roof replacement with solar, are you saying like an average of turnaround time for a solar company to come out and take that off and like help with the kind of factor in additional time?
it,
That's
uh,
what you do.
yeah, it depends. It really does.
I hate to say that, but you know, solar is, you guys know, solar is the Wild West. It's so unregulated and you have some really good companies, but you have a lot of bad ones.
That's gonna take a while.
And a lot of companies go under and, you know, or they're small and they're chasing storms and they're chasing installs across the country. So it can take a long time. That said, we try to vet out through the solar contractors before we get involved in a project. And if it looks like it's gonna be a hassle, and we have a lot of solar companies that say, hey, if those guys do the roof, like, your solar warranty is completely void. It's like, well, we don't want to get in between that.
There's a way around it though, too. Realistically speaking, not saying it's just like a common thing, but if they don't respond within a certain period of time and they're requesting to get these removed and replaced as soon as possible, that can warrant another company to come and detach and reset these if they have documentation that they just didn't ask for. So, you know, people are gonna need to get it done. If they can't detach and reset it in time, you know, it needs to be done. So had homeowners had that in the past where they couldn't get a hold of somebody. And then we had, you know, over the years, I have a list of every different person in a trade. So I have someone who I trust that I'm like, hey, this is a guy that can detach and reset these for a reasonable price.
Would you mind sharing one or two companies that would give you a red flag? So if you hear their name, yeah, like a solar company, that if you hear their names, you'd be like, oh, we're absolutely not gonna work with that.
I like Trinity. I like Trinity's
I know
well.
this.
Yeah, Trinity's good.
Trinity is good?
Do you have any in mind that you?
No, I'm just wondering.
Bad, at least my two
look back.
experiences with Sonova would have been bad.
Sonova?
Really?
Sonova.
They've been a hot mess.
Did you guys hear,
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
did you hear about the big beautiful bill that was passed?
Mhm.
And Trump is eliminating the 30% tax credit.
Yeah.
So that's gonna change the solar landscape.
That's not gonna
It
go well.
might be a good time to start recruiting some agents and sales reps from the solar industry.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a major impact.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, we're on good.
Okay.
We made it, so.
Has been good.
Oh, yeah.
We've talked about a lot, but most recently, and this has been ongoing, a lot of roofs today, of course, when we have a lot of cloudy, wet conditions, you start getting discoloration of the shingles.
Mhm.
Recommend or have any input relative to that?
Yeah, well, a lot has changed within 20-25 years. Like if someone has a 20-25 year roof, you know, the technology has changed within those times. So they have a stain guard. Most manufacturers have stain guard resistance where they have copper in their granules that prevent any of this algae or this staining from, you know, typically GAF. GAF, if someone's in a wooded area, I primarily promote GAF because in my experience and opinion only, they hold up better against stain guard resistance. Owens Corning, if they're in a wide open development where there's heavy winds on that, I promote more for Owens Corning because they have glue in their nailing strips. So you go to pull an Owens Corning shingle off of, you know, 4 nails on it compared to GAF. I have experienced that Owens Corning has held up longer or requires more pounds to pull it off. And we've done, Owens Corning actually uses this for an advertising that they have, we did a few roofs in one development, the rest were old. An F1 tornado came through the whole development. Every roof was torn to shreds besides the Owens Corning roofs that we installed. So, and that was like 110 mile an hour winds. But specifically to staining, they, I'd say GAF is a little bit better.
They pushed it really hard. They branded well too, which helps a lot. And honestly, there's a company called Atlas. You may or may not have heard of Atlas. Smaller shingle company, but they do a lot of private labeling for other manufacturers. And they partnered with 3M to use the Scotchgard branding. And it's right on their shingle packs. And that has been an easy product to sell. Because everyone knows the 3M Scotchgard branding. It's probably on par with GAF as far as actual performance goes. But it's been great for retail sales for us because people attach themselves to that common brand.
Anybody else? Gonna miss them?
Do you have experience or do you work with slate roofs?
You have, yes.
Okay, because I had a listing a year ago. And it was supposed to be a lifetime,
Mhm.
but the company that put it in years ago was no longer in business.
Okay.
I was representing the seller, but the buyer exhausted every resource for getting the property insured
Mhm.
because of this slate roof.
Why wasn't it insured?
They
Just
just said
improper
that because of the
installation.
age of the roof, even though they had, it was to be lifetime,
Right.
they said because of the age of the roof, they wouldn't insure the property.
That's wild. They tried multiple insurance companies, I imagine.
Everyone nationwide, the main nation brands, and they're one affected.
We do some slate, not high volume, like cedar shake and slate. We do a couple jobs each way, more than probably.
Each rep, maybe a couple.
Yeah, we probably do a dozen a year, or something like that. Slate and cedar, like we did a lot of work up in Connecticut in years past, and like what a cedar shake market that is up there, and other areas are down towards Philly. We had a couple neighborhoods down there that were heavy on slate. A lot of people upgraded. They went to like a synthetic slate. They used that to.
I'm heavy on synthetic slate versus traditional slate.
It's-
way better.
Also better to.
Absolutely.
The thing we ran into with slate too, and maybe this is part of the insurance piece, was it can cause, with some of these lifetime slates that have been on for 100 years, it can really do a number on the structure with the weight of that. We've seen it bow trusses and do some things structurally that early on we learned a lesson, right? We went back and we took the slate off, we put synthetic back on, and all of a sudden you can see every deformity in the roof, and we thought, well, we gotta make sure that roof deck's true next time we do that.
It is also very time consuming to repair, and it's expensive just to repair those. You have to do like what's called a nail and bib. You have to move them and then replace each and every individual slate, which at times for a tree, something falls on it, you have a whole row, and it's very time consuming and very expensive in regards to that if you did a synthetic, slate portion of it. I'm much bigger on synthetic. I think it even looks nicer.
I think so too. There's a place for slate, beautiful,
Yeah.
and they have to be older, but yeah, at times, we're happy to take a look at it and sell it.
Mhm.
For sure.
Yeah.
Do you go everywhere? Like I have guys that got, the cedar shades and the.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, the territories we tackled, PA, Maryland, Delaware, New Jersey, and Connecticut. If it's not me, there's, we have 50 other reps like myself in the company that are more than qualified to do the same thing I'm doing. I'm traditionally in an hour and a half radius of Lancaster, but I do occasionally go outside of that realm.
That's our core business. Our core business is
That's right.
2 hour radius outside of Lancaster. That's the vast majority, but yeah, we'll travel within this with the reason.
What else? We're on the road. Anything else?
There's some big cedar roofs over in Lidditz at the farm. Big, beautiful. Right across. Yeah, on Quarry Road, right across from where Ryan is that one.
Well, he's like near Bent Creek.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
Bent Creek's got a lot too.
they sure do.
We did over 90 roof replacements in Bent Creek.
Did you?
Yeah. That was like, well, Ryan's primary market for the past 5 years or so.
That's where, I'll never forget, that's where we learned the importance of making sure in writing that the homeowner has HOA approval on the product. we use. Because we did, the first one we did there, the roof was non-compliant, and that didn't end well. That roof had to be replaced. We worked with the customer on it, but man, no one wanted that.
That's a good topic to talk about too. HOAs, they have certain, requirements, so it's up to the homeowner, they do their due diligence, they look through what's required, if there's any manufacturer restrictions of what's getting installed. But typically at times too, they have to get the signature on either side of, the home to approve basically the work being done. But I tell everyone that's, make sure you double check with your HOA before we end up proceeding with anything to avoid any of the headaches I got, or getting into replacing it again.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's a good topic. My cell is open. You know, I want to be a resource that you guys have to answer any of the tough questions you guys might have. So I have it on, you know, if I don't answer it, I'll call you guys back. But primarily me, but if I can't handle, if I'm, you know, we're getting to the busiest time of the season right now, if I can't handle it, we got plenty of other reps that can certainly jump on top of this, but speed and efficiency is our number one. So we can be out, get an estimate within 48 hours, we can have the roof on it, not the next day, within the same week, given the material that you guys have for the owners are choosing. You know, I can speak for them, but like a lot of some other companies are, you know, they could be out 3, 4, maybe 5, 6 weeks or months, at times for roof replacements, just because they're smaller, but we got a lot of manpower, so we're able to handle it.
So big steps right there, for sure. Yeah, that's the next steps. I'd say if you guys have any questions regarding roofing in general, there's no question, that's, you know, off limits. Alex, you'll have his card, shoot him a text or an email. And also, if you're interested in the referral program, let Alex know. And what would happen there is I'd probably start with a W-9 for everybody. You know, I think it's over $600 for us to pay out. We just get you on a W-9 right away, and then we can start working out the mechanics of paying it for Keller Williams, and we distribute it to you guys. So if you're interested, just let Alex know via email, and we'll get you the right documentation to fill out.
Cool. Have you done work for people in this office?
Not for people in this office, but not for, yeah, no,
Reference line.
yeah. I met, I talked with Keith, his wife, was that 3 months ago now? Yeah, probably a long time ago, yeah, we spoke about this, and this idea, was expanded. It was traditionally, you know, I've done this before for other builders and, you know, mentioned the whole referral program and, you know, you help me, I'll help you kind of thing. But this is definitely a game big in here to try to get this started. But, you know, we're here for whatever you guys need for any help, but we would love to eventually try to expand this out, even larger.
Do you partner with builders in the area?
Not often. New construction is almost a whole separate niche of roofing. It's a big game, you know, it's request for proposal, it's thinner margins, it's a volume and low margin game. And we're somewhere just off of that where it never really made, we've done it, but it's never made all the sense in the world for us.
Mm-hmm.
There's other companies that their model is better suited to that.
Right. I don't know if been a lot over here for years, right? When they sold and, you know, they take the sun out, you know, so I'm just kind of curious, it's good, there's no option.
Still present the opportunities and you see if it would be a fit.
Yeah, there's times where
Those one makes the final say.
there's just sort of makes sense, and if it's someone else's win to take, then, you know, I'm happy to say this isn't our arena.
Sure.
You know, but it's always worth the conversation.
We should have known you flat roast then.
Of reasonable size. We do, with commercial, and Joe can speak on that too, like, I used to be a commercial installer, I used to do, you know, churches and schools and large buildings for a different company. And then I got in the project managing portion here, we're primarily residential. We can do flat roofing to a degree with approval from production, after they review everything, but we can do large scale apartment complex re-roofs. Traditionally, asphalt shingles is something, if it's even of larger size, we can certainly do it. We're even on the works of doing a 600 square dairy farm metal re-roof. So we do large metal re-roofs too, but we just go and pass through approval with, flat roofing, like EPDM or TPL.
I think the distinction between us and some others is we're very much, you know, direct to consumer focused, not too much business to business, aside from partnerships like this. And that's why I think we work well, is because you guys are direct to the consumer and we are, so we can kind of align because we share the same interests and consumer interests. We treat them very similar, how you guys did. But yeah, we don't do a ton of commercial business work. Again, slightly different market with different margins and different demands. Sure.
You had mentioned financing. Is that something you do directly through your company, or do you have a third-party vendor that helps you?
We use financing partners. We have two. We use Aqua is a big one for us. And Sunlight is another one that we use, and they do great rates and they're very quick. You know, that's the biggest thing with the financing partners is speed. and approval rate, and they're fantastic. They do really good quotes. We have a very low reject rate and stuff like that, so that is part of our process, but we don't fund them internally.
Do you discount for cash?
We show a discount for cash, yes, we do. If we finance, it does have to be,
I
depends
need
on.
a roof, that's why that's.
We discount for cash.
Chat.
Yeah, Alex can take care of that. We do, I mean, honestly, we do, there's a huge value in that. We,
I'd like to first Shannon.
referral fees.
Don't begin.
Don't begin.
That's a good one.
Yeah, Alex, can-
Yeah, we'll chat.
Any chat about that, fine.
thank you guys.
We appreciate.
Really appreciate your time.
Thank you for the connection. If you have someone like Alex and Joe that you want to see in this training room that you think could provide value, let Adrian know. We're also looking for education referral. So we know you don't want to hear from us. So thank you, Keith, thank you, Alex, and you.
Thank you.
Thanks for your question.
Do you have a card?
Yeah, yes, I have, you guys had back-to-back meetings here, so Joe and I took the liberty of getting you guys, your next round of copy here that you Starbucks gift cards.
Oh, nice.
So that, I'll hand these down here, there's my card, the gift cards, and it has, the agent incentive, so in paper for you guys here.
Thank you. Really fast, Emily.
Sure, yeah. Welcome.
Thank you.
I'll just grab a stack.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wait. I know, right? You guys got one? Everybody got one over there?
Yep, I got one.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yep.
You guys good?
Yep, thanks.
Thanks, Jeff. Thank you.
Okay, boss, so here's my deal.
What do we got?
So, I 100% different. I am not going to do it until at least after September this year. My friend's getting married in Pittsburgh. So I'm leaving it. But I will pay cash. So how good, how long are they?
And I'll
We should have bring in.
So sorry.
Right now.
It's just for the record, that's unusual.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so I need you guys to come out and take a look at it.
Sure.
I live in a wind tunnel. I would have said GAF, but now I'm saying homes.
Great, that's a great solution.
Because I did not realize that, so I was GAF, and now I'm in a wind school.
Yes, there goes. Where do you live?
One in Mechanicsburg Middle School.
Hey, beautiful, how are you? I'm good. I love your dress.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. Good items, good items.
Yeah.
Timeless.
We got a copy.
Thrift store. Oh, Target is the place to go. And Walmart. Honestly, they've got some great pieces. I got these shoes from Target. Yeah. Thank you. I got them last year. So they're not old yet, but yeah. Yeah, I like them a lot. Yeah, I got a good pair of shoes from Target. Target's got some good stuff. Last year was my first time ever shopping at Target, and I was like, wow, why have I never gotten clothes from here before? Me neither. Because they don't have food, so it's like I don't ever really just go to Target for, you know what I mean? But they've got great things. Oh yeah, they've got some good stuff. Just getting adjusted, honestly. I've been trying to like come up with a schedule for myself, and I feel like I've been sticking to it. I didn't come up with it. I can't take all the credit. I had ChatGPT help me out with it, but yeah, I've been trying to stick to the schedule and implementing coming to the office as much as I can. At the book club, did they ever come out with a book for August, do you know? Task, yeah. Prospect. Oh, cool.
I listen to the.
Yeah. I like that in my.
Yeah, exactly. And so I haven't started the outcomes because it was.
What about if you buy the actual book? I'm like, I've never listened to an audiobook. I like to actually like read it. Do they still give you those things if you buy it, or is it? The actual physical copy.
Not a lot of time.
Super cool.
You been doing any travel?
Not this time. Yes, I was trying to like, I just made that Facebook, so I was like, let me kind of introduce myself a little bit. But no, I haven't done anything since last month. We went to Virginia for my boyfriend and I's birthday, and our dog's birthday. But besides that, no, just now that I'm at a new brokerage, I'm really trying to like stick to kind of being here and building consistency. What about you though? How's everything been? Anything new?
Yes, really. I have one in the pipeline right now where, I'm going to help her sell her house and buy.
That is a double whammy.
I know.
I love that.
I was like,
That's really good.
yeah. It was a former coworker of mine when I was still in social services.
Yes, that's awesome.
Yeah, so like, we get along really well. I'm like,
Oh,
this is
yeah.
gonna be fun.
It's gonna be a breeze.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
That's all. Well, if you need someone to host the open house,
Okay,
let me know. I am an open house girl.
me too.
I'm trying. I'm really trying. I posted twice. I'm like, let me stop. I posted yesterday. I just posted today. I was like, I don't want to annoy people.
No, it's all right. I think just talking to people, because I think sometimes that Facebook page like falls into the background,
I'm sure.
but just keep coming, keep chatting.
Oh yeah, every Tuesday. I missed last Tuesday because I wasn't able to get in,
I
but
think I skipped last Tuesday because I was like, it was about hiring and I'm not
I
there yet.
do the online.
Did you?
But then I logged out because I was like, oh, this has nothing to do with me,
Yeah.
not right now.
Not right now.
But I did make it to the coffee and combos. I did that, and I've been doing that every week.
Good. I
It's
miss
really
it.
nice.
I always miss that one and I'm like, oh shit.
It's very early.
Yeah.
But
I
just
mean,
like
like
that.
I'm up and moving. I get up at 5 a.m.
Yeah, I get it not that early. I get it at 6, but
Yeah.
I
need me time.
Yeah, I get that.
First thing in the morning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. Is that why you get up early?
My boyfriend goes to work at 7. I make him breakfast and lunch every day, so I try to be up when he's up.
Thank you. So
No, I like to, that's just what I do for him. So I get up when he's up just so I can do that. And it gives me a good start on my day. And I've been trying to go to the gym earlier anyway, because I usually go after work.
Yeah.
But he's been telling me, my boyfriend, he's been like, it's just a little hard because I come home and then you're leaving for the gym.
Yeah.
And then you don't get home until I'm about to go to bed.
Yeah.
So I've been like, okay, well now what I'll start to do is when I get up to make you breakfast and lunch, I'll go to the gym right after,
That's a good
so I can get
idea.
back by 9, 10. Then I can like
Do what I need to do. Yeah.
Today I didn't get to, I'm gonna go to the gym right after this, but so I can do it before he gets home.
Right.
But yeah, so getting up that early is convenient just because it gives me time to do other stuff.
Yeah.
And I prepare for my day, but I don't get up at 5 a.m. I get up at 6:45 because he goes to work at 7:30. So it's not even 6.
I don't know. I just like to sit quietly, like when it's still a little dark outside.
Yeah.
I like to brew my coffee and
Yeah,
read a book. and-
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I have coffee every day, decaf, but every day. It's so
I've
good.
been on an iced coffee kick.
Ooh, yeah. I was on a good chai latte kick, then a matcha latte kick for a while, and then I just stopped because it's kind of a lot of work to make those.
Yeah.
Coffee, I just put it in a coffee maker, and then that's it.
My niece is really into coffee. She's 21 and she's a barista.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she does that part-time and then she's also like a receptionist part-time in a hair salon.
Oh, that's super cool.
I know, I'm like, you're living the
Nice.
best 21-year-old
Oh,
life
yeah.
right now.
Yeah,
because-
for sure.
Yeah, she's like, they do my hair for me.
That is really nice.
Yeah.
I love that.
But she's always like giving me a new drink or.
Oh, yeah, something different to try. Does she work at Starbucks or does she work at like a smaller
No, it's
coffee?
a mom and pop.
I love those,
Yeah.
those are better.
Well, up where we're from, there are no
Big name.
big name brands.
Yeah,
Kind of cool.
it is.
Yeah.
It is.
So it's all mom and pop shop.
That's awesome. I love supporting local.
Yeah, me too.
It tastes better too.
Me too. I was doing like long form videos on YouTube of like just the community and local businesses
Yeah,
and
I'm
things.
just starting to do that. That's so cool.
Ooh, long form is.
I don't do long
it's so, I know, I stopped doing it because I was like, it's sucking up all my time. But
Yeah.
like, it's
Yeah.
so fun to put videos together.
Oh, it is.
But I've switched over to short form.
TikTok's great.
I know, it
I love
is.
TikTok.
It is, and I think I like resisted for so long, and then in the last couple months, the same niece was like, you have to, Aunt Mandy, get a TikTok.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So yeah, and it is funny because across all the different forums, like I post the same thing, and so like sometimes one thing will do so good on one forum
Yeah.
and terrible on another
Yeah.
forum.
How long ago?
That's why it's good to spread it out. You just never know. Something might hit somewhere else and you know what I mean? Yeah, TikTok's so magical. I didn't get into TikTok until last year, and my boyfriend loves TikTok. He's always on TikTok, and I just have never, even when it like during COVID, when it really
Yeah.
became a thing,
Yeah.
I was like, that's so stupid because all the people were doing dances and stuff. I was like,
Yeah.
that's so dumb. Instagram's where it's at. And I finally got on TikTok. I was like, wow. I was like, I see what everyone's.
Yeah.
There's like so many things on there.
You know, this past weekend, I did my first time home buyer workshop. Yeah, I put it together and I just like marketed it out onto social media, and I had like not a huge turnout, but the people who came, I asked them like, where did you hear about this? And it was all social media. They
Yep.
were all like, we saw it on, and then they were like, I didn't remember. Did I see it on Facebook or did I see it on TikTok? And I was like, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, as long as you saw it.
Yeah, yeah.
That's so awesome. How'd that go?
Good. It was really good. So like I scheduled it before I even had the presentation put together because
Oh,
I was
wow.
like that. Like
Make you. Here?
no, I did it at the New Cumberland Library.
That's so cool.
So I'm gonna keep doing that because it
should.
really wasn't that difficult. There's no overhead. The libraries let you use the space for free.
Wow,
Mhm.
that is so cool.
And it puts you right in front of people
That are possibly going to buy, if not now, in the future for sure.
Exactly.
That's awesome. I've
And
been
I-
wanting to do something like that. I just am not in the, I feel like I'm not there yet,
You'll
you
get
know?
there.
I'm definitely like,
Yeah.
still just,
You'll
one
get
day.
You have to like kind of like, you know, get
Ease your
buried.
way- Yeah,
Get buried first.
yeah,
and you-
for sure. I
Yeah.
wouldn't know what I'm talking about. I still feel like I'm a first time.
Well, I told them, I was like, I'm gonna be completely transparent with you, like at the end. I said, this was my very first presentation that I've ever done, and I want to know, is there something I'm missing? And they did say, like, put more in about the first time home buyer grants, and I was like,
Oh, yeah.
perfect,
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
yeah. So I actually need to research that more myself.
There's a lot of grants out there and a lot of programs, not just
Yeah,
FHA.
there's like, first front door is a big one around here.
That's what I helped my sister-in-law. We got her $30,000. Yeah, she got $20,000 from the first front door grant, the Keys grant, and then she got $10,000 from Adams County. So there's $30,000.
Love it.
I know.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I know. Now I'm obsessed with the first front door grant.
I was thinking of trying to arrange a meeting with some of the local people, representatives who are able to provide that. So if you wanna come along with me.
I would love to.
Yeah, let me reach out to them. There's two of them that I found. One was in Dillsburg and one was in Landisburg. Both of them are in like, well, Dillsburg's in Cumberland County. Landisburg.
Yeah,
is-
Dillsburg that's right outside of York, isn't it?
Yeah, kind of. It's like half, I'd say
I
it's
guess not
halfway.
right outside, but it's like,
It's probably like halfway out
it's
in
next
the
to
middle
Dover.
of nowhere, yeah.
Yeah, my boyfriend, we have land out there, but not in Dillsburg, in Dover.
Do
But we
you?
always go through the Dillsburg exit to get there.
What's your plan with the land? What are
It's
you
up in
doing?
the air right now, honestly. There's a lot going on. He brought it with his mom, and now there's like some drama with his mom. So we're not sure what we want to do with it. We're not sure. It's amazing. It's beautiful. I really want us to
It's
keep
really
it.
pretty out there.
He just got electric and water installed. Like he just got that put in there. So I'm like, do not sell it. But I also don't mind because I'm like, I'll get a good nice penny off of that. But I'm also like, I want our kids to be here. Please don't sell it. Like,
Yeah.
let your mom be your mom.
Are you a nature girl?
I love nature. We went camping like
Love
for our
it.
birthday. Yeah, love.
So
Camping, love hiking, love.
I'm a tree hugger.
Oh yeah, I'm a vegetarian. I have been since I was 12 years old.
I did it for like a short time, but I'm not.
Okay. I do not like killing animals. I don't like anything that has to do with like anything like that. But I don't, other people can do what they need to do.
course.
My boyfriend is not vegetarian at all, and I make him, I cook him steak and stuff, so.
Yeah.
But I definitely am a pledged tree hugger, so I respect that. I love that.
So like my husband and I, during COVID, we started leasing land in Po Valley.
Yeah.
Which is, do you know where State College is?
Yeah, that's north, right?
2 hours north.
Yeah.
So Po Valley is like maybe 20 minutes outside of State College, in the middle of nowhere, in mountains. There's a state park, there's state forest, and the land that we lease is like plopped in the middle of like the mountains.
That's so cool. You guys go out there to camp?
We have a camper.
Yes.
So we actually put it up on blocks and we built a deck around
Oh,
the
yeah.
camper, and
Yeah.
it's facing out into the forest. It's technically a campground, but it's not like, I hate camp. I don't like campgrounds.
Yeah.
Like they're so like
That's only where we've stayed, to be honest. But I get why you wouldn't like that.
different.
No, we had a camper.
Oh, you have
So
a
we,
camper.
yeah, so that's where we went for Virginia Beach. We went in our camper and stayed at a campground, but a campground.
Okay.
There were tents there too. So.
Fine, but some of them are just like they pack you in. Stuff
Yeah, you're so
close,
close.
like you never know what you're gonna get. But
Yeah.
anyways, like here, like everybody's spread apart. When we go to our camper, like it feels like we're there.
Yeah, that's so nice.
Yeah.
I thought I've seen people that live in the campground and I was like, wow, they actually like live here because they have built around decks. Like when we were in Virginia Beach, I could tell some people lived there and some people stayed there. You know what I mean? But
They're doing something similar to what we do.
Leasing
like,
it
we
for a little
lease it.
bit.
And so like we've had our camper up there for like 3 years now. Yeah. And it makes it easy because then it's already there. We don't have to tow it. We
Yeah.
Just like hop in the car with
And
our
go up
luggage. Yeah, it's a 2 hour drive, so it
Yeah.
feels like we're getting away and
Yeah.
nobody can bug us.
that's so cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, I love camping. I love the camper too.
Hemlock Campground.
Hemlock campground. Is that the one?
Yes, that's where we're at. And if you come up, let me know.
Oh, I will.
Yeah, go hang out.
That's the problem.
County.
They have a pool there, but like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. I don't go into the pool though, because let me, how do I put this?
Germs.
Not necessarily that, it's, or like,
Yeah, it'd yeah.
but what I do is I just drive down to the lake.
Oh, yeah. If there's a lake, why not do the lake versus the Fort Greene? Yeah, we have a few dogs, so it'd be nice to take them there.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I'll have to look into it a little bit more and talk to Mitchell about it.
Yeah.
That's a spot.
And if you don't feel like towing your camper up there, they have like little rustic cabins too.
Oh, no, we'll tow it. We got it to tow it all around. Definitely taking it with us, but that is cool.
Yeah.
I do like cabins. They're cool too. I stayed at one cabin and it was it was like a luxurious, like, it was like glamping.
These ones are not.
No,
But, oh my gosh, we stayed at a really nice cabin down in West Virginia. And it was like an A-frame, like it was luxurious, it had like a hot tub outside.
oh, that's
and it
really
was-
funny.
We went in the winter time and what is it called? There's a place in West Virginia that has natural springs.
Oh. Hot springs?
Berkeley. I don't think they are.
Okay.
Native Americans used the springs for like, for healing benefits. It is warm. I think it's warm when it comes out.
I feel like, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I thought most springs were hot springs, but I don't think they are because they wouldn't be called hot springs. They just feel like.
It's Berkeley Springs.
That Berkeley Spring.
West Virginia, yeah. It's really
I'm
nice.
gonna put that.
So they have like a state park and you can go to the state park and they have like a bathhouse there.
Yeah, well.
So like they funnel these mineral waters in. They're hot. I think they warm it like to a certain degree, but like they're hot and you can like go in and just like soak in the mineral water for a little while.
I love stuff like that.
Mhm.
That's so cool.
Mhm. It was such a
That's
nice
so nice.
weekend.
Oh, yeah. That's really nice.
Yeah. Check that place out.
I will. I will.
The woman who I am getting ready to sell her house with.
Yeah.
Her sister, she's like, I'm going away for the so we'll meet next week. Because it was her birthday, and she was like, "Oh, my sister owns land up in upstate New York, and she has this whole like glamping place. It's called Coyote."
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks, everyone.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you, guys.
It's called Coyote Hollow. Coyote Hollow. Look it up. It looks amazing. I was like, I'm gonna have to grab my sister and go up for
Oh,
like
yeah.
a girls' weekend.
You guys should check out Lake Placid. Have you ever heard of it? It's in New York.
I feel like I've heard of it,
It
but I've
is
never been.
stunning. We went in the winter. I think it was 2 years ago, 2 Christmases ago, and we went right after Christmas. Actually, it was in February, so it was a little bit after. And the lake freezes over, so you can do ice skating over there, and they have dog sledding, which we did, and it was so fun. Yes, those like huskies that pulled you on a sled. It was like very romantic, and they have ice skating on the lake. And we stayed at a hotel, but I don't know if there's a campsite. I'm sure there is a campsite, but we stayed at a
Or an
hotel,
Airbnb maybe.
and they're pet friendly. And especially during like the Christmas time, it's like a Christmas village. It was beautiful. One of the most beautiful vacations I've ever taken. It was stunning, and it was so cold. And it was right next to the Olympic Center,
Oh,
the New York Olympic Center. So it was like really cool to like, you could go ice skating in the Olympic Center too.
that's amazing.
It was just so beautiful. And it was an outdoor ice rink, but it was
really
well, the
cool.
Olympic Center one. It was the lake one, but it was one of the most beautiful vacations I've ever been on.
Have you ever gone to
Yeah.
Finger Lakes?
Mm-mm.
No.
It's called Finger Lakes?
Yes.
No.
In New York.
No, New York?
No. In
No.
New York, upstate.
Oh, no.
Do you like wine? Are you a wine drinker?
I don't really drink alcohol too much, to be
Okay.
honest, but I don't mind it.
Yeah. So they're big on their wineries. They have like wineries every.
Go if it's a winery, you know what I mean? I'll drink if it's
Right.
the occasion.
But they're all like legit wineries, like with the grapes growing
Oh,
right
yeah.
outside. And
Fresh.
so these Finger Lakes, they, I don't know, there's like 4 or 5 of them all next to each other. So you can just like drive over the mountain and get to the next lake. And like everywhere you drive, it's like the view of the lake is just amazing.
So nice.
Yeah.
Adding another one.
Now,
Finger Lakes.
that was a sister's trip I took with my sister, and we just went up for the weekend. We found a lake house,
Oh, yeah.
so we stayed right on the water.
Wine festival.
Huh?
They have a wine festival there.
Of course
You
they
should go
do,
there.
in October. Is it
I don't know. I didn't see what
They do one every October, like,
They don't remember it and they're still like,
Yeah.
I remember my stuff.
That's really cool.
but be warned if you go for the wine fest, getting into a restaurant.
Oh, I'm sure it's busy. Yeah, I'm sure. Got an RSVP a month before.
That's
so cool.
Watkins Glen, have you heard of that?
Right? You know, I think I need to.
You know all this.
Well, you're not from around here
No.
originally, that's why. But yeah, Watkins Glen is an amazing hike that's right on one of the Finger Lakes.
You know.
And it's,
Oh, yeah, I definitely haven't heard of it. It's out there.
if you've probably seen pictures from it because the photography that
Yeah.
comes out of there, it's like a canyon, like a narrow canyon.
Wow.
And there's waterfalls like cascading all
Oh,
over
wow.
the place. So,
What's it called?
Watkins Glen.
Watkins Glen?
Glen.
Glen.
You know, what
Yeah.
did you do for me for these, you know, 2 rooms or 3 rooms?
It's like listening to our conversation.
I know.
Wow, that reminds me of the Niagara Falls. Oh, that is a picture of Niagara Falls. Never mind. I was like, wait a second. Never mind. But that's beautiful. This one is what it showed me. I was like, wow, that looks like
Oh,
Niagara
yeah,
Falls.
yeah, no, it's,
That's
Yeah.
beautiful too, though. That's
That
stunning.
is.
I love waterfalls.
So their
Yeah.
stuff is old.
Yeah, that's so
Even
cool.
if it's really
Well, I'm gonna have to
nice,
check out all these
and they're
places.
selling to 35-year-olds.
I have to tell Mitchell about
So
this.
I need to get rid of their
Absolutely.
stuff.
I love to
before
travel. That's
more
something about me where if there's anything I could do
acceptable stuff.
for the rest of my life,
So
it would just be to
even when
travel.
Houses
Yeah.
are
I love it
fully
so much.
furnished.
Me
a lot of
too.
times I'll
Where's the
have
coolest
to
place
bring
you've
in
gone?
pillows.
I say there's 2. I'd say the Niagara Falls because it was just so beautiful.
Yeah.
And then Colorado,
Yes.
just being out in the mountains was
Yes.
awesome.
Make it prettier.
Very,
Get
very
rid of
beautiful. Just
their
real, it makes you
candles with
remember
dried
and
flowers around it,
realize
put
for
on
one,
stuff
God's
that's
real,
much
and 2, how
more-
small we are.
Yeah.
you know.
I love that
Right?
feeling.
And
Yeah.
One
love
of the
that
things that I
feeling.
always say to
What
my
about you?
friends, I was like, look.
Hawaii.
okay, my
Oh,
house looks more
yeah.
like
Okay,
your
okay.
house.
When it comes to
But when I
beaches,
sell it, it's not.
Well, no, I still think the mountains are really cool, but I'd say Virgin Islands is really cool. Honestly, they were better than Mexico beaches. Yeah,
I would believe that.
they were.
I would.
There wasn't nearly as much, there was like a lot of seaweed in the Mexico beaches.
Yeah.
I feel like Hawaii is more beautiful than either one. Honestly, I feel like Hawaii and Virgin Islands are probably.
When we went to Hawaii, it was like, it felt like I was in a fantasy.
Yeah.
Like an imaginary, like I was like, this can't be real.
Yeah.
Like,
Stunning.
even the plants that we would see and like some of the animals.
Yeah.
Like,
And I think people just live there. It's insane. I know a girl that moved there and she's been there for 2 years and she just plays volleyball at the beach all the time. And I know, I'm like, wow, she's a yoga instructor out there. I'm like, you're living the life. You're literally a yoga instructor in Hawaii. Like, what?
and that's like the thing though, especially like in certain areas of Hawaii, it's really crunchy.
Oh, I'm sure. Because all the tourists.
No, crunchy, like
Oh, they're not too
like
small,
hippie.
right?
Oh,
I mean,
I've
you have
never
people
heard that
breathe
term
in,
before,
Mm.
crunchy.
but
You've
they're
never
not
heard
too
that
small.
term?
Mm-mm.
No.
So-
No.
The
There's a
people
first for
that they
everything.
recruit, the
Oh
ones
my
that
gosh,
they-
crunchy. I know, that's interesting.
Like when you're into nature, because you
Crunchy.
like granola, and granola's crunchy.
Oh, yeah. I could see that.
But anyways, yeah, like on the Big Island. So a lot of people mistake the Big Island for where Honolulu is, but the Big Island is actually like that giant island that's at the bottom of the archipelago. Like, you know, the different islands. This island, it's the one that has the Kilauea volcanoes. So we stayed there for just a few days because our main vacation was in Maui, but I was like, I want to see Kilauea. I want to see the volcano.
Convinces your seller.
So
you're
we
doing
stayed on the
everything
Big
you
Island
do.
for like 2 or 3 days and I was like,
then-
I'm in love. Like, I don't even want to go anywhere else. But yeah, there were definitely like hippies there. Like there was a lot of yoga studios.
Oh, I'm sure.
and, like, people,
Hawaii is the
like,
place for that, you know?
Yeah.
It really is.
Kind of hitch a
One with
ride.
nature.
It's so relaxed.
Yeah.
Like, you would see road workers that were just sort of like taking a nap against the side of their car.
Wow.
It's just
That's a different vibe.
Yeah.
That's so nice.
And like it's a thing there where
Well, you know
people
what, though?
won't register their car, like they haven't registered their car for years and years and years
wow.
because they were like,
Wow.
nobody's gonna pull. It's like an unspoken rule. Like, nobody's gonna pull me over, and they hardly have any cops because they don't really need cops.
Yeah. You never hear of anything crazy happening in Hawaii.
Yeah.
And if you do, it's usually.
For someone not from there.
I don't know. Actually, they have a very bad homeless problem.
And then,
Wow.
there's
Mhm,
social media
yeah.
too.
Especially
Because
in
they're
like
advertising it.
Honolulu.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do have some issues there.
I think that
It's
wouldn't be
because
a bad
tourism
idea.
has driven the prices up.
Because it
Yeah.
makes no,
Yeah.
not
So
necessarily,
people who are
but
from
it's setting you
Can't
up
even afford
for,
it.
We did
Yeah.
this, we did this, we did this.
I've
So
heard
one of the
that.
things
It's very
when I
sad.
was
It is.
on something,
Uh,
and count
Beautiful place though.
yeah,
Then
Big
people
Island.
Definitely one of the places I want to visit for sure. It's on my list.
Big Island was definitely the least touristy island out of all of them.
Ridiculous.
Well, that's
stuff.
good to know.
So if you
And
want
then,
like that,
When I have
like
to make
less
it
authentic.
tourist, authentic,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I felt
Did
like.
all
Like
of
when
these
we stopped
things.
into like diners and stuff like that, it was like there wasn't a ton of people and the waitress like had time to like kind of
Actually
just
talk.
chit chat with you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So cool.
yeah.
Oh, now I really want to go to Hawaii.
And then we went to Maui too, and Maui was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely more touristy, but it's like a nice mixture. It's not too bad. Like I definitely go back. Yeah.
How stinking cool. Yeah, I can see that being one of the most beautiful places in the world.
Mhm. Yeah.
And like, yeah.
It just has a different feel to it. Too.
Oh, yeah, like no other.
Yeah.
Truly.
Report.
Crazy thing that it's a state because it doesn't even feel like a state, you know?
Well, they, truth be told, they don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was, I don't know, like how much of the history, you know, anytime I travel somewhere, do you remember like my coworkers called me Dora the Explorer because I was like, I have all the culture knowledge.
Yeah.
Anytime I travel somewhere, I want to know like the
Where-
history
yeah.
and where we're going. And yeah, the US definitely did some very underhanded things in
We
acquiring.
do it to everyone. Not we, not me.
I know.
But yeah,
I know
we
what you
definitely
meant.
do it to everyone,
Yeah.
that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely very underhanded in how we acquired.
That and a lot of other places, unfortunately.
So they can
I guess,
see
well,
where the
like,
traffic is.
they made it seem like they were their own kingdom and they had like,
And then
like a royalty.
What is the identifying information? Is
And the
it
Queen of Hawaii, it made it look like she was in agreement that they should become a state. And so she was like talking everybody into it and making it seem like it would be a really good thing. And years and years and years later, after her journal
And
was
honestly, that
found,
should be enough.
it came out that she was being held hostage in her own palace and being made to stay.
Wow.
That's what I would do.
That's really sad.
Okay, so now if you go
Wow.
down.
We'll have to look into that. I'm sure there's a movie on it at this point, or a documentary.
Yeah,
That's deep, that's heavy.
heavy, very heavy. And like everywhere you go, you will see signs saying like restore the kingdom of Hawaii. Like they're so deeply hurt. As they
I
should
mean,
be. Yeah, yeah.
They should be, honestly, they should be restored because
Thank
that
you.
was forced. Never like,
Yeah,
especially if that's not what the people that live there want, you know?
exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Geez.
Sorry, I didn't mean to go all heavy.
Oh, you're fine.
But
It's the reality of the world we live in.
unfortunately. But yeah, if you ever get a chance to go.
Oh, yeah, it'll be one of the spots for sure.
Have you ever heard of ley lines? Now I'm gonna get real hippie dippy on you.
No.
You've never heard of ley lines? Google it sometime. There's
Okay.
very hard to describe, but there are ley lines like going through Hawaii. It's all like energetic, like
Oh, wow.
yeah.
You should definitely go to yoga. I feel like you would like yoga.
I love yoga. I've never gone to a yoga class, but I just do it on my own.
Well, if you ever want to join me for yoga, I go every Wednesday and it's from 7:15 to 8:15.
Where do you go?
I go at my gym. They have yoga every day, I'm pretty sure, but I go to the specific yoga instructor. She's really great. She gives candles out every class. You don't keep them. They're just like little fake candles, but they just really set the tone of the class. And she gives you a card that like says something
How
different.
advanced is it though? Like I'm not.
It's not advanced. I would say it's medium, but she does things where it's like, if you want to make it more difficult, you can do this. Or if you want to keep it here, you can stay there. Or if
Love
you want to make
that.
it easier, you can do that.
She's
So,
fine.
and my mom's gone with me and she's like not flexible or anything like that. So she went.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you should do. I'm sure you're better than my mom. But you should definitely come with me sometime, even if it's, you know, next Wednesday, I'll be there. I go every Wednesday.
Okay.
So
What time is it?
it's from 7:15 to 8:15 PM. So at nighttime, it's in the evening.
Yeah.
I'm going tomorrow.
Yeah.
I have.
I'll be here then.
Yeah, definitely. I actually need to head out anyways. I gotta go to the gym.
Okay, so do 1 through.
What's your number? Oh, forgot this is still on. Should I turn it off? Right, I was talking about Hawaii and how they're in Spain with a crunchy. Oh my gosh. They're like, what are they talking about? Where's the roof guy? Is anybody on there? I don't even know. I don't know how to
So
check.
what I like about it is you go down to the
Partner.
bottom and.
I don't know if I should close it or not. What's your number? 717
717
320
320
3509.
909.
But when you get past
And
that,
if you
it goes down
text
to
me,
the
I'll
bottom.
have
Here, I will text you right now. Let me just save.
Doesn't mean they can't afford
your
it,
name.
you're not looking at those tests. Right, so it's a way to tell the story.
Oh goodness, I have a few. 614 320.
717. What?
I have a few. Amanda, right? I have a few Amandas in my phone.
Well, it's a popular.
Well, actually,
My mom's name's
717
Amanda.
320
320. Okay, you're
Yeah.
that. Okay, cool.
Did you say your mom's name is Amanda?
Yeah.
It's a very popular name.
It is.
Yeah. Oh,
Hopefully I
got
texted you from my work phone. I have a dual SIM on this phone, so sometimes it texts
From a different number.
from my personal phone number. Mine, I
yeah.
tried texting from my business number. My personal number is still 512. I don't ever want to give up my Texas number.
No, I hear that.
And now
I get
my
it.
work number is 215 from Philly, but I guess I need to change that eventually. One day. What do you have going on the rest of the day?
I'm going to pottery.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's
I've
fun.
been doing pottery for a couple of years.
That's so
Your
classy.
house is
Yes,
only
Mechanicsburg Art Studio. If you
Yes.
ever want to try any art classes.
Bye.
That is good.
I love
Right,
her.
but it's the 480 that, probably the 4. Have you had 5 showings? How many showings have you had?
They also do, glass blowing. Oh, glass blowing, that's so, yeah, I've never done that. I've been one part there.
So where's the rest of the?
Yeah.
No, go back to 450 and then go.
I am.
That goes back to that.
So it looks like people aren't looking for.
Yeah. Cause you didn't see any.
But that can't be true, because when I pulled up the.
What are
showing,
these?
It showed. that
489, yeah.
489,
I've never had to do this. It's so weird.
I'll just keep playing with it.
Yeah.
I got my computer.
It usually is helpful because it shows you know what I mean? It shows where people are looking.
Yeah.
And I always use it all the time to get people to underprice, cause I was like, look, cause then they'll say, but I don't wanna sell my house for 465 or 469. I was like, no, you don't. But you need those people coming in and having interest, because one of two things happens. Either they'll drive up the price, like they'll go, oh, what I have to do to pay it. Or they'll make the guy that can come in and pay $480 for it. And, you know, oh my gosh, maybe we're gonna have a problem. Maybe I do have to bid it higher. So either way,
If no one bids it up, then that's the buyer.
Then that's what the buyer-
What they're willing to do.
yeah, that's what they say it's worth.
Buyers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And the people that are looking, you know what, maybe do look at the houses that are 485 to 500 and see what they look like. Because if they're far superior, then that's also giving you a sign. This is what they expect in this price range. And your home is lovely, but it's more what people are expecting in this price range.
Yeah. And this other one is on for the exact same price, has been on for 100 and some days. They've reduced the price 2 or 3 times. It's much larger.
Yeah.
So I've been looking at the pictures, I'm not sure why.
So is it not a great area? What's the?
Yeah, Northridge is
It's usually good.
pretty good. But they are doing a lot of new construction, like this home was in phase 1 in 1997. Now there's been phase 2 and phase 3.
And what are they charging for those homes?
The new ones. Well, they're advertising in the 4s, because my people were gonna stay in the same neighborhood until you go and look at them.
Yeah.
And they add all the stuff on there in the 6s.
But that's also hard because people are looking at that false advertising and thinking, I might be able to get the same house for 525. They can't,
Yeah.
but that might be part of your problem.
Mhm.
I think you could probably be at 475 or under.
Yeah.
I know. So painful, isn't it?
Mhm.
I know. That's why I came to this pricing thing. I hate pricing.
Well, I don't know, have you been in probably longer than I have in real estate? As a full-time agent, I'm in my 10th year.
Yeah.
Market analysis are always a struggle. Like I'm waiting for it.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I've been 14 years and every one. Do you know what I also do? And I'm sure you probably do this too. I ask other people. Here's what I'm thinking. What do you think? Or,
Even on our house that you showed, I had 4 associates come through.
yeah,
And all of them told me a price higher than where we started,
yeah,
but even where we started, talking
Yeah.
to you, was never mind.
yeah, yeah. Oh, it's beautiful.
I
Yeah.
still feel like maybe we're higher than my gut feeling was I should be. I don't know what your impression is.
You know what? I don't think it was priced badly at all. In fact,
That's good.
but again, my people didn't buy it. But my people thought the value for the home was really high. I think your challenge for that particular home, is it takes the right type of person. Because there's a lot of upkeep. Like, they love it. They're like, we love everything about this. 2 things they needed to change. One, they really needed a first 4 bedroom. In the best world. but they were willing to look past that. But she's like, oh my gosh, these gardens are amazing, but I won't be able to keep them up, and they're gardeners. But she's in her seventies, and she's like, it's a lot.
And that's the thing too, a young family, I don't think that will want all that, that's what we figured it would be somebody in there, like, I
Yeah.
say mature, maybe
Yeah.
anywhere from 45 to
Yeah.
65.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and I think they will, but it's probably gonna be on the lower end of that, because the 65, I mean, I'm 60, I'm looking for a 4 bedroom. I'm fine today, you know, my husband's in better shape than me, but
You always gotta have to have a plan.
yeah,
Someone could do that, probably with that, like where I have the office, that was originally the dentist room,
yes,
but then your garage, you have to be creative with how you come in through there.
Yeah. yeah,
And to add on the other end, I think personally, I mean, we explored all the options.
Yeah.
Before we decided this,
yeah,
would be aesthetics.
yeah,
And our septic system
it's not zoned for
is
that,
not zoned for more than 3 bedrooms.
yeah. So then you'd have to improve the septic system, which means you'd have to improve the drain field too, cause yeah, that becomes a lot,
Yeah.
I know. Well, I don't think,
You, Shannon.
yeah, I don't think it would be a bad idea to do an open house, even if it's just, I mean, you might get buyers, but
Just to
even,
make the sellers happy.
I do an awful lot to justify what my next thing is gonna be, which is you have to take a price to come.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I did with that one, I had them all over, but, it was just a nightmare, I never had, and, you know, I like, that's what I tell them, I did like 2 open houses, and I was bringing all these reports in and going, I even called all these people back.
I did this and I did this and I
I make
did this.
notes in the.
Cause that's what I needed to do with that guy.
Every time, and once a week.
Yeah.
I've been doing, you know, I prepare reports for them that show how many views we had, you know, on.
Yes.
How
All-
many views we had on Zillow, how many we had on Homes.com.
So are you getting good views?
We are.
So that's another red flag. If you're getting
Yeah.
if you're getting good views, but you're not getting traffic, that's a price issue.
Yes,
This is what I do.
and that's what I had told myself, I was like, look, we've had, I probably had 5 people each time at the open house. Because
Yeah.
it was like, it's out there on Keller Road, it was like
Yeah.
way out of the way, cause
Yeah.
I was happy 5 people showed up each
Sure.
time. And I said, we've had like over 40 showings.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've done my job of getting people in here, you
The
know.
math says that if we're priced right, we should have offers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say, I do think these past couple of weeks have been slow. Do you see that?
But
I found.
the only
that-
listing I right now is a mobile home, so I can't qualify, but
Well,
but I just have
historically,
really
it's
tired, I know.
Yeah.
July, if you list in July.
So I have done, I had one last week, the week before, and the week before, so we had one a week, and every one of them did get multiple offers, but they didn't get the traffic. I had this one in Indian Creek that honestly, it's 2 blocks from the pool. This house should have had 45 showings. I had 12. Again, 12 is fine, it got us 4 offers. But Tasha and Melissa did an open house, we've been tag teaming open houses because when you price these things low, you tend to get 1 million people in there. They had like 8 families. That's it. And it's 2 blocks from the public pool, you know, the neighborhood pool that you can join for $400 a year. And has a swim team and it's, you know, it's a very active neighborhood. Usually we list in this neighborhood. I've never had this low a turnout.
Yeah, I think fires are being squirmy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's hard right now.
Well, this report, this one came up, it shows that like 460 to 469, there were 5 showings, nothing between 470 and 479. 480 to 489 showed 5 showings. It should be a weekly average of 1.5. So I mean, and out of those 5, 3 were at mine, so.
Yeah.
490 and above was at 4. But like you said, what you're getting with 490,
You gotta show them those houses.
yeah.
Yeah. And that's the problem, is they're trying to, at that price point, I think we're being compared to the new builds. And even if they're smaller, new is new. And there's that means a new roof, that means a new HVAC, that means all new flooring, that means new ductwork, which you're not gonna replace when you replace that means everything new. And there's a lot of people that will pay a lot more money for that. So I think we're being compared to the new builds, and I think we have to be the best of the non-new builds. Yeah. I will say one other thing, we did see this happen with us, we've had to compete on houses that dropped prices. They dropped them 15 grand and then they got multiple offers and got closer to ask. We've done it twice this year. So a price decline does not necessarily mean you're gonna get that 15 grand less or whatever.
So how do you speak to her thing about sale, like, I'm not selling my house on the.
Yeah, so, you know, in your house probably was on front page of Zillow when we first listed it, but it's now considered old, and the challenge is other people are not necessarily seeing it either because they saw it 23 days ago. So in order to pop back up to page one, we really need to do a couple of things. The price decline, maybe in conjunction with an open house to draw that up. And now we will be, for a very short period of time, top of mind with all of these agents and potential home buyers. But it's a very short window, so we have to make the most of it, which is why we do the price decline and the open house at the same time. I re-prospect to everybody, you know. I don't know if this will work. Years ago, pre-COVID, when I was having trouble getting people in, I raffled off a gift card. I literally did. I said to agents, you know, you have the opportunity to win a $50 Visa gift card. You don't even have to come. Write your name down. And I called all these people. I was like, you need Christmas money? Because it was like November. I was like, you need Christmas money? I got a $50 gift card. Send your people. And they're like, people aren't gonna come look at a house because of a gift card. I was like, yeah, but you're gonna make the call because of the gift card. Just make the call. Maybe they wanna come. And it was so funny because you guys, I'm sure you know Nicole Pearson. She gave me so much crap about that. And then she's like, my people went because of that gift card. It's like, yeah, they did. So I put their name in a draft raffle and I put Nicole's. And then I drew one out.
So you did two separate, you did one for the agents and one for the.
No, I did one all together.
Oh, okay.
I did it all together.
So
I gave one gift card,
okay.
but I had a ton of people. And I was like, look, have them write down your name, you'll go in, their name will go in. And they also had to give me a phone number that I could read because I had to call them and then I got a gift card. So I had to have a legible communication, phone or email. And if you have an agent, just write, I've got an agent. But yeah, so that also was able to get, I don't know, sometimes you have to try desperate things.
Yeah, I know.
I'm the queen of desperation.
I put out a thing one time years ago. It was back probably early on, 18, 19, people, we were looking for a ranch everywhere.
Yeah.
And I made up like I have a wanted poster.
Yeah.
For an old.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
made up a wanted poster with the ranch house.
Yeah.
And
Like
blasted
it
it to GHAR, all the
Yeah.
agents, and then you wouldn't believe the feedback I got from that. Agents were like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I was like, that was something they.
But you know what? They
I
looked
see
at
going, I could see going like even, gosh, cause I have like people like looking in like smaller areas, like over in Gardner's, and they have all these like little country stores with bulletin boards. I can see like going in and like putting one posters up.
Yeah, that's what I did.
I sold a house in Bressler, right where all those trucking things were, and this had it had 3 parking spaces in front. It had a detached 2-car garage, and it had a place you could park your semi behind it. And so I went to all the trucking companies and said, you can park your truck at home.
That's a big deal, because my son-in-law drives a truck.
And that's about all I said, is like, great home, you can park your truck at home, call me for details. We sold it to a trucker.
Yeah.
This was like in 14 or 15.
That's the thing.
We sold it to a trucker, but I went to all the trucking companies and said, can I put this on your bulletin board? And it had those little, you know, like the roommate finders, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah, there was no QR code. I mean, it was, people didn't do that. We sold it to a trucker,
That's cool.
so.
You gotta get creative. And I guess you gotta see that this is where I have a problem. I'm like afraid to do stuff.
You know, but
And
who
I,
cares?
like, I know, I really gotta get,
Yeah.
I gotta get over that, but I worry about like everything. I mean, I even, I'm dealing with that with this, even following up with some of these buyers. It's like, what are they gonna think? Because I just, you know, and it's like, if you don't follow up with people, they're gonna,
Go elsewhere.
yeah.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I had, what did I used to say? I don't wanna bug you, but I made you a promise that I would keep you in mind when I saw houses, so, you know, what about, or just curious, would this work for you? You know, those kinds of things.
I like
but
that I made you a promise.
Yeah, I made you, I don't wanna bug you, please don't misunderstand, I don't wanna bug you, but I made you a promise that I would actively look for homes for you, so I wanna touch base with you on this one. You know what I mean? Love it,
That's
hate
what
it,
I said. I sometimes will call people and say to them, hey, I know you're looking at the emails, but, you know, tell me what about this house didn't strike the chord.
Yeah, I have done that. But
Yeah.
I'm still getting people that just don't, I mean, like, eventually they'll kind of like answer me, but it might take 7 or 8 texts to get. You know.
so here's my best line for that. Should I be dead to you? I'm telling you, it works every time. Should I be dead to you? Hey, let me know if I should be dead to you. And people be like, what? It's like, oh, you are there. And I was like, if I'm annoying and you want me to stop contacting you, you can just tell me, stop contacting. No, I just haven't seen anything. I'm like, okay, cool, that's great. You can tell me that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, should I be dead to you? I'm telling you, the first time you say it, you're gonna be like, I can't believe I said this. But people either, I've had a couple of people say yes, hey, thank you, unsubscribed. But other people think it's funny and they're like, what? But here's the thing, you're losing nothing,
Well, true.
right? They're
Yeah,
not
you're either
talking to
wasting
you.
your time continuing. to
Yeah.
talk.
They're not talking to you. One of two things are gonna happen. They're either gonna talk to you or they're gonna continue to ignore you. It didn't hurt, you know what I mean? But one way or another, they're gonna give you some sort of information.
Yeah, cause it, you know, it just keeps hitting on you like it's.
Yeah.
They didn't, you know, so it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I know.
There's a guy in my office, my old office at Century 21, Jeff Goes, and he told me that. And I was like, Jeffy, you don't do that. He goes, damn straight I do, and it works every time. And when I really get desperate, I was like, hey, maybe I should be dead to you. You know,
I've done that, like, I hope everything's okay, cause I haven't heard from you, but that oftentimes will get people, so like, yeah.
Yeah.
Cause like, you know, it's like, I mean, it is, like, you're kind of showing you care and,
Yeah.
you know.
well, and the thing is, we're contacting you about other things, like, there was a storm in your area. Do you have any damage? You know, I got a tree guy that I send out all the time, like everywhere. Because that's something you could say, hey, I know you guys had a really bad storm. Were you part of that? Do you need a tree guy? Yeah. Yeah, and it works. And people are like, oh my God, no, I'm good, but thank you.
I had people that were in the show area and they're like the fires were close to their house.
Yeah, so you check,
contacted them.
right. How can I help? What do you need?
Yeah.
Yeah, people like that stuff.
Mhm.
But I think we're,
In that position, I appreciate.
I think we feel like people don't wanna hear from you because we're gonna be annoying. If they don't wanna hear from you, they just don't answer you.
Most of that's not that way.
But when they're ready, they will, you know, and I don't know. I think we take it too personally.
Yeah, and I think
it's
that's what I'm doing, and I just have like a little confidence issue, and then I take it too personally, and then I go.
Okay, you're not gonna believe this. I probably have worse self-esteem than you. I just pretend that I have good self-esteem. And the more outgoing I am, the more it gives me confidence to have that. So, I mean, I have terrible self-esteem, right? I do, and it's funny because I can't check. Back to my childhood, or I don't know why, but I automatically think that people think I'm stupid. And so it's.
I mean, I think you're amazing.
But my point is, I've had to program myself to say, no, you're not. If you have something to say, you say it, and if people think it's dumb, then they just blow it off. It's not like, Shannon said something stupid, so she's a complete idiot and I'll never
Well,
speak
cause
to
you
her
know what,
again.
cause some people don't even like care, they don't remember, they don't notice, and I do try to tell myself that, and
Yeah,
and I don't, you know, like, I don't really have a problem like talking in front of people, like when it's something I feel really comfortable about, or once I know somebody like, hey, they really wanna work with me, then
Yeah.
I like flip a switch and then, you know,
Yeah.
and I've built great relationships, I mean, I've
Right.
I had a buyer off of a sign call on a listing I had, that they ended up buying with me, and then, like, her family has been selling stuff with
Yeah.
me, and I got invited to their wedding, and,
Right.
you know, I mean, like,
Right.
I make
you make great
relationships.
lasting relationships.
I do, so I don't think I'm like a horrible person or anything,
Right.
but then you have these people, it's like, what was that?
Right, right, but you have to then remember, it has nothing to do with
Well,
you.
and I know, yeah,
It has nothing to do with you, and it's whatever else is going on in their life. And so as long as you go, this isn't about me, and you just keep periodically sending them stuff, and then one day, Tasha and I just put a $1 million house under contract with buyers that literally I started working with in 2022.
yeah, wow.
So I told her I had people come to a house that I was invested. And, the husband was ready to buy, the wife wasn't.
Yeah.
It took 4 years of just staying in touch with them every
Yeah.
now and then, I'd want to see something else.
Right,
And then finally, they ended up buying them for sale by owner through someone in the church, but they had me sell their 6.25
yeah,
house. So,
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
Sometimes these years.
yeah, and that's the same thing. We bought 1,061,000, we sold a 577. You know what I mean? That's a really good paycheck, but it was 3 years in the making.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, I think sometimes I'm a little impatient too, but
it
still.
just means you need to broaden your circle.
Yeah.
It means you need to get more
Well,
people to be
But
talking
see,
to.
that's the thing, I've been doing that, I feel like I have so many people right now, and I'm doing like, and it's like, could somebody please do something?
Yeah,
That's, cause I do actually have a lot, but
Yeah.
they're just,
they're not active, they're not flying, they're just.
well,
looking.
or they are, you know, the things don't suit them, you know, cause I am trying to brighten it up, so I get somebody who goes under contract with
Yeah.
something somewhere, but it's hard keeping up with all those people.
Yeah, it is, it
So
is.
I'm really having a problem with that too, where I feel like I'm doing a lot of work and get nothing out of it, and.
Yeah.
You know.
Do you have a running daily to-do list?
Yes and no, I mean, I do on and off, like when it gets to like, oh my gosh, I got so
Yeah.
much to do, I gotta get it out of here and put it on paper,
Yeah.
I do write it down, but I try to work my brain so much. And then I get upset because I'm like, I feel like I'm not remembering things and I can't keep anything straight, and I get really upset, and
Yeah.
it's all part,
And that's the
I-
anxiety.
I've realized that I have ADHD, I did not ever know, in
Oh,
fact,
we all do.
both of my kids have it, like my son has literally been diagnosed and he's on medication now at 26, I guess. he is.
Yeah.
But I homeschooled them and I never knew like
Yeah.
what was going on. I feel like so bad, I mean, you know, I just didn't know, because I always thought, well, they're the kids that are bouncing off the wall and their behavior problems or whatever. I'm like, no, my kids were great.
Yeah.
They just,
Yeah.
my son especially, my daughter's, you get all the dirt on my family. My daughter,
We all have it.
my daughter's got the anxiety, but my son, he's literally like,
Yeah.
he was really bad. Like,
Yeah.
he's, you know, on lots of different medications now, which I'm not so thrilled about, but I'm like, well, you gotta do what you gotta do. I mean, like, how do you fix it?
Yeah.
And I realized through that whole process of talking to him, and I was like, oh, that's me. Like, I just always thought that
Yeah.
I don't know, like, I mean, like, you know, even going back to school, it was like, you know, I had like nightmares about like, would I get to school and not have a pencil? You know, I mean,
Oh, yeah, same.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, that's why then you have to have tools and system in place. So I used to carry a planner. And like, if I saw you on Monday, then on Wednesday, I wrote your name down just to check in. So there was a list of people. I didn't write a note necessarily. It's just Mindy, you know, boom. Then just go through people that I need to check in, because I saw you on Monday, so Wednesday or Thursday, I wrote your name down to just touch base again.
I figured,
Just so that I could, I saw you on Tuesday, so now it's Thursday or Friday. Just so that I had multiple touches a week, and I didn't write any notes, it was just your name,
okay,
because you just sold them. So you don't need to have a whole, but I needed to know, oh, I need to check in on them.
I have one of my bells that just turns something down, or sometimes I'll set an alarm in my phone.
Well, I'll do alarms,
I
I
do
do my
all the
phone
time.
sometimes, cause like,
Yeah.
I really need the alarms to be like, hey, you need to do
Yeah.
this, but I love that of just like, just making it simple, writing it down.
Right, and
Because
just
then it's
literally,
out of your brain.
it's like 2 or 3 days later, you never have to think about it again. Until that next day you go, or, you know, that day comes up, you're like, oh, I did talk to Mom about, you know what I mean?
Do you use, the coin?
I'm not good with, see, that's why I carry the swings, I'm not.
I
good
have
with
one of those
electronic
on my
things.
desk.
I'm
I do use it, because Denise actually got me that years ago. The
Yeah.
Google Calendar.
I use
Um,
Google Calendar.
See,
too.
I don't,
So
that-
there's like a block on Wednesday, and if you think of somebody, you put it, you open that block and you add their name. And when you sit down to do your calls, you have all the people.
I really like her.
Yeah.
Like,
But I do write it down or set alarms.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, but as long as you have a system, it doesn't have to be that system, it just has to be a system, because the key is getting it out of your brain. And truly getting it out of your brain in a way that you don't have to worry about, will I forget? Because it's already the reminder set. So now I can wipe that out of my brain and I can put something else in that spot, because I don't know about you, but I'm 60. I can't remember stuff like I used to.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have to literally create spots in my brain, because the file box is about this big now. It might have been this big before, it's like here. And I got so much crap in my brain that I have to literally take this out and put it over here, but it's in a guaranteed to follow up so that I can come back. And it's not just us, like almost everybody is like that, because we're overstimulated.
Well, that's what I'm kind of like wondering, I mean, I'm to the point where I feel like so overstimulated by everything, and I don't even feel like myself anymore. I'm really
Yeah.
having issues with that, like, I don't even know. I mean, of course, we like moved in the last couple of years, and I've just had changes, but I
Yeah.
just don't even feel like I even know who I am. All right.
Yeah.
No,
No, but
I just,
yeah.
yeah,
Did you go through menopause?
but that's been like 4 years ago.
And that might be why. So I just got on, hormones, like bioidentical hormones
Okay.
that I started last week, because mine's been 6 years. And I felt like I was like, I don't know, it was, I can't even explain it, but it did not feel like me.
Yeah, I've always felt like I had like a good sense of self, and.
It did
and-
not.
And now I just don't even know where I am, who I am, what I'm doing.
Right. Right, and I was the same thing, I mood swings for no apparent reason, but it wasn't like super high or super low, it was just kind of like blah. Right, it was, and I went to my doctor and I said, oh, my problem is, but I don't feel like me. And she said, it's been 6 years since you went through menopause. I said, yeah, she did, that would be why. She goes, you're hitting that streak. A lot of people do okay, right, get through menopause and do okay, right?
Right after.
Right, and she said, and then they get to this place and all of a sudden they just drop down a little. And she said, you're at that space. So you might ask your doctor about it. So I've got a little patch that I wear, and at night, it's the lowest level. And then that's the estrogen, and then I take a progesterone every night. And I am sleeping. I've never slept. I'm sleeping through the night, like I don't get up 6 times in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom and then have my brain go. Do you do that?
Not as much now. They have one person.
Yeah, I do okay. My biggest problem is.
Yeah. Does he snore?
He snores, and he's like, up.
Does he stop breathing?
I don't know. Sometimes. it's
So
like,
I
just stop breathing.
also have developed sleep apnea, and I tried the CPAP, which is not good for your sex life. I'm just gonna put that out there.
I like that thing.
Yeah, they're like, and then I tried the mouth guards, and I tried all these things. And what I found is if I sleep on my side, I'm okay. And so in order to make myself stay sleeping on my side, I put a long pillow between my legs.
Every night.
Because number one, it doesn't hurt your
Yeah,
hips. But number two, in order to turn over, you have to contort. So I don't just flip over on my back, because that's effort, you know, to get this, so then I just flip over to the other side and we shuffle, and that seems like you're not gasping in the middle of the night,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm sleeping.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm just
Is it
a
amazing
natural
that
side
you look-
sleeper, so, yeah.
I was too. I always start out and end up, but apparently in the middle of the night, I would be flat on my back and I would sound like a train. It's very attractive. Yeah, but I wasn't like that younger. I don't know. I just developed it.
Hmm.
And probably if I lost a little weight, I would undevelop it, but that is not gonna happen. You know what? It's not gonna happen. Because life is too short and I really like mine. Chocolate and ice cream and bread, and we're doing 3 ice cream socials again this year. We're into 2, we're gonna do another one in Harrisburg. And Dave goes, the lady that complains about her weight invites people for ice cream all the time. It's like, that's what I get to eat.
Well, yeah, see, that's, I reward myself a lot with this. It's like, I had a rough day.
It's a rough day.
All right, that's
Okay,
okay.
it could be vodka. It's not. It's ice cream,
Exactly.
right? I think, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, good luck. Let me know how it goes. Send me that again. Let me see if there's anybody I can send it to. Yeah. Girls, we got
Maybe
this.
I did send it to you, or
I think you did, because I think we talked about it.
believe so.
I feel like we did.
Thank you.
Yeah. Who knows who we got? You never know.
Yeah, I had people that they looked for a ranch house for a year and they bought it.
Right.
I didn't think it was a very big thing, because it said about keeping your pipe clean.
That's what I thought. I mean, it was a little bit helpful to know of them, but yeah, I was just like, yeah, that's not what I was thinking it was either. I mean, I'm glad it came to the CMA thing. I really was really pumped today, but then I need to go buy my money to drop off. Beaches and feel it's sort of better in my car.
Well, were you serious about wanting to do a,
Yeah, depending on when it would be, I mean, probably, probably most evenings and stuff, I'm okay, if you want to be on an evening, but on a weekend, yeah, cause see, I have a volunteer thing I do on Sunday afternoons. And,
I was honestly wondering, like, if they had like a Twilight show and they did, sometimes stuff.
yeah, and that's what I was gonna say, like, you wanna do most Friday evenings, except for the 22nd. I mean, I don't know when you're planning, that you wanna do it, cause I'm leaving for Ohio and that's my nephew's wedding.
No, I think here, on this one.
Oh, it is fun.
I'm excited and nervous to see on,
It'll be okay.
So. Where is it then? So what did you tell me? I don't know how much nervous was.
There's a.
Yeah, I mean, I could do the 10th, I could do the 16th, or I could do like any evening. Yeah, because, I don't have this Sunday available.
I'm thinking like 1 to 3 or something like that.
Yeah, I could do it after church.
I hate to ask you to work Sundays if I've been trying not to like one.
I try to limit it. I mean, like I actually went to double speed appointment Sunday after I did because I was at my volunteer thing. And then I went to the listing appointment on Sunday evening, so I figure, as long as I get to church, usually, I mean, I usually don't have a problem like showing people properties on Sundays if I have to, because I figure, well, that's just sort of like time sensitive, because like we might just have to get there because of when offers are due. And like I said, I don't usually do, but I've just kind of been busy, so I did do a listing appointment on Sunday, and, I've done, open houses on Sunday afternoon, so I don't really mind. So like I said, any, the Friday evening, that Sunday, that Saturday.
Traffic on Friday, then people on people on.
Yeah, I mean, well, I'd be available pretty much any evening, up until like the 21st.
Let me talk to him. I'll reach out to him.
Okay.
Later this afternoon. I'm sure that you think what price adjustment is what we need to do, and I just had mentioned that to them yesterday in brief conversation.
I mean, of course, Shannon was very experienced, but I definitely agree with her on doing them at the same time, like the price adjustment and because that's kind of what I had been doing with Vanilla Road. I was getting tons of people in, and it was like, just offers were not forthcoming.
Okay, well, I'll reach out to them.
Okay, well, and then of course, when you're away, if there's anything, you can do.
I urgently probably do somebody that
And I'm willing to just, especially especially since you're going on a mission trip, you don't need to worry, I'll just help you. Don't be afraid to ask.
So this is it, there's like 8 to 700 days on there.
Now, I remember my sister, when I was selling her house, she would be like, well, when I Google my house, Keller Williams isn't even coming up, and it's like, it doesn't matter.
They say that too. They don't see you there. They don't.
Of course, my sister was the one that, this is the price she wanted, and there we were. Yeah, and it was funny because we listed the end of October, so I had to get through Christmas and Thanksgiving with her. I think we actually celebrated before Christmas, but actually we didn't settle till we were under contract by Christmas, but we didn't settle till January, I remember, because she was like, oh, now let's go to the next tax year. And I'm like, well, if you would listen to me, this would have been sold and done in November. And we probably, because they ended up, I think they ended up getting even a little bit less than what my original, suggestion
And
was.
that's what she was saying here.
Mhm.
If you hang out in the night, and it's hard to get people to understand.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and she was like, she just wasn't even, she had a price in mind because she thought for months that her neighbor's friend was gonna buy it. And they apparently weren't serious because they were like, it was kind of like, yeah, no, we weren't gonna buy that. But she had told them a price, and because they seemed agreeable to it, that was what was in her head the whole entire time. So that's what she wanted to list at. She goes, well, if they were gonna buy it, they would have bought it at that. I'm like, but they didn't, and they weren't. And so it was fun, like family is not always fun.
Yeah, it's such a challenge.
I guess the water. my water bottle stay hydrated.
Enjoyed things a little more the last couple weeks.
Glad that we are.
Yeah, I need support.
Yeah, well, anytime, I mean, you know, cause I
I
think
think
that,
like Shannon said, like, you know, she's one of the most confident people, I think, that I would choose, and who's really self-esteem.
Yeah.
as well.
yeah, I
We
mean,
all struggle with that.
yeah, I mean, I just felt like when I came into the business, I never really, I like to, just my personality, I think I worry about things, I like bouncing off people. And I never really had a mentor at all.
Yeah.
And I just feel like I've just been out here trying to figure it out, and then I get like all anxious about like whether I'm doing things right. And
I really limited some of the process that I could do, because I hear them, and I wanna do it all, but I can't.
Mhm.
And then we do the comparison, we do the others.
Yeah,
So I just kind of doubt that with some, for today's, I thought would be helpful, look at, because thinking the second one is a little different, but
yeah,
that's all right.
yeah. Well, yeah, I just got to the point, as I said, I was not even convinced I was gonna leave home today, and I was like, no, I'll go. Because sometimes I feel like it's better, you know, I'll make calls at home, I just feel like if I'm not on the road driving around, I just feel like it's my time is better spent. But, cause I mean, I don't make calls when I'm at the office, cause I don't like have, well, first of all, it's distracting to me, but I don't like. I feel like self-confident or self-conscious.
And Leah that was here, she's in the back room a lot more than here, so
Yeah,
I call from home too.
yeah,
But I felt like today, always in the devotion, I felt like the words in my heart, you need to get out in the world a little bit, like
Yeah.
more than just your circle, what you do all the time.
yeah,
So I kind of forced myself to come to.
yeah. I think that
It's
is,
just a sickness I feel.
yes, there we go. Well, I'm glad you were here.